Put on your mental track shoes and run with me. This is the Powwow with Myra. Hello, everyone. Today we have Dawn. Dawn,
Hello.
thanks for being here.
Happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. It is. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I love the enthusiasm.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. So I know you have like a interesting, great and story where like I think from what I understand you've like overcame a lot of things. And so but I want to start with what Dawn who Dawn is today and like what do you do today?
Okay. Uh, Personally, I'm a mother of two, single mom, and we live in Fort Worth. And professionally, I am community engagement coordinator for a nonprofit active sober community called the Phoenix.
Okay. So what does that mean? What do you do there?
At the Phoenix, we have an app, and we like to fuel resilience for folks in recovery. Their allies are those choosing to live sober. And we do that by offering free sober events. And on the app, they're on demand, they're virtual, they're in person, and we're all over the country. No, well, actually, we're international too. Yeah.
Mm. So it's an app, so anybody can like download the Phoenix app
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like basically register for the events.
Yes, everything's free. You start your account, and from then on, you can look at the on demand virtual and in person events.
Or what are the
hmm
requirements to join these
Uh,
free events?
all the events are free with 48 hours of sobriety. It goes on an honor system. We don't do UAs or anything like that. But it's not just for the recovery community
Mm.
because the family of a recovery community is just as much as part of the recovery as the person working it. So
Agreed.
they're welcome at the events. Anyone with 48 hours of sobriety. hmm
Oh, okay. So is there a way that you track this, or how would you know like that they are sober for like 48 hours at least,
We
like
just take it
minimum?
on the honor system. And if they visibly appear to be a danger to themselves,
Mm.
we don't want to cast them out either. They're still going to be welcome. It's just we have active events like indoor rock climbing and paddle boarding and CrossFit. So we don't want them hurting themselves, but we're going to provide a safe and supportive environment for them. They came for a reason.
Okay,
So they
okay.
needed connection.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, and I'm just gonna like remind you to put this a little bit
Okay.
closer.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It just, like I said, it just makes Logan's job easier.
Better.
Okay, so you mentioned like rock climbing and CrossFit, and so like how do you like coordinate these different um activities with different maybe even different partnerships?
Yeah.
Like how do you do that? Like how does that work?
So, just like someone would find at an event, a partner, we like to call them, we create a relationship with them. It could be because we don't have a brick and mortar gym here in DFW. There are brick and mortar gyms in other parts of the country, but like Descent,
Mhm.
they've been a partner, and we have a workout there on Friday nights here in Fort Worth. And then churches let us use their space for movie nights and yoga, meditation, and then art. We have an art night in another place, and we have game nights in coffee shops. And we just form relationships for them with them, tell them what we're about, and they love what we're doing.
I mean, I love it already.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun.
it is. It's a lot of fun, and you're in a community of other people that you can connect with, and they're in the same boat.
Mhm.
Yeah, whether it's an SUD, substance use disorder, everybody's battling something.
Mm.
Everybody's recovering from something.
Mhm.
And Phoenix is all inclusive. We accept all pathways. I'm not sure if you know if you're familiar with that term.
yeah, like different types of soberness.
Correct. Like AA, Dharma, Celebrate Recovery, Smart Recovery. Uh, there's lots of
Wow.
them. But we accept all of them because sometimes they're separate entities and they have their meetings and we're not real integrating, I guess
Okay.
you could say,
Yeah.
with other organizations, but we are out there to connect. We're out there. The more seeds we're planting together, the more people that are going to get help. The more we're recovering out loud, the more people are going to see that they're not alone and there's other people that they can connect with.
I just got the chills with that because, like, it's so true, though. It makes a huge it's just kinda like even just working out alone, like, you go to the gym to do your own thing versus working out with, like, a group of people. It's 2 completely different things, so I can see the relation with, especially with, with people in recovery or just sober in that sober path, like, coming together with a group where they have similar like, they have, something they can relate with,
Mhm.
and then they understand each other better. It's not like
Yeah.
they're just going with some other random group where they feel out of place. Like, this is
Yeah,
almost like
and most of the people that I've come in contact and me being one of them too, I'm learning more about myself with each time that I make myself vulnerable. And that's
Mm,
what we're all about. It fuels resilience. If you stay in the same comfort zone that you're always in, you're kind of creating your own chaos. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
And if you don't change it up, don't change those people, places, things when you don't feel like you're happy with your life, whether you're in recovery or not, nothing's going to change.
Right,
So
right.
change it up a little bit, try new things. And that's what the Phoenix provides.
How long have you been with the Phoenix group?
I I got sober in 2018 and I found them right at the end of two no, right at the beginning of 2019.
Mm,
And I started as a member and then I was a volunteer for 3 years because all the events are volunteer led, whether that's someone in recovery, an ally, or someone choosing to live sober. And they find their niche that they like, donate an hour of their time, and then they're planting seeds and creating fun environments for other people at the same time. It's the perfect combination.
wow.
Yeah, doing something that they love and sharing it with others.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you find this group?
So I was kind of white knuckling my sobriety at first. I was doing cognitive behavioral therapy with therapists on my own. And
You were doing it as in, like, you were getting the therapy?
mhm,
Okay.
yeah, I had gone to some meetings with another pathway for close to a year and just realized it wasn't for me.
Mhm.
And did not do the work to find other pathways. So, kind of pulled the mom card. If it didn't have to do with my kids, I didn't really want to do it.
Did you know you were pulling the mom
Oh,
card at the
yes.
time?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Mm,
I did. Um, just didn't know how really to live life and didn't know who I was
mm,
and or who I wanted to be outside of being a mom.
mm,
And I thought since I was staying sober that, you know, it was all good. I wasn't going to mess anything up anymore.
mhm.
But I had a roommate at the time because I was separated from a husband and well, ex-husband. And she came home from an IOP, which is an intensive outpatient program. And she said a group called the Phoenix came to my IOP tonight. They're going on a hike. Do you want to go?
Mhm.
And at the time, I was just like, no, that doesn't sound fun at all. I was close to 100 pounds heavier than what I am right now. I wasn't implementing self-care, and I was picturing like a backpack and trekking poles, and that just did not sound fun at all. And but she was pushing herself outside of a comfort zone, way out
Mm,
of a comfort zone. So I decided to do it too. She planted a seed in me. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And yeah, I went to that event and it was like it clicked. I was so nervous. I mean, my voice was shaking. I was so nervous because any other social environment that I had been in was with children or with family and not just me.
Mm.
I was making myself so vulnerable. And I'm one of those people, if I'm not good at it, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I saw the diverse group that was there and people started sharing their stories and so it was just like an epiphany. All these people are doing the same thing I am. They're all nervous. They're all doing this for the first time.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
was sold. I was sold. And it lit a fire in me. It really did. The Phoenix mission, Fuel Resilience, it's perfect because that's exactly what it did in me.
Mm.
And I kind of wanted more.
Ooh.
There was that addict mentality. It's either here or here. There's no gray. I was like, I'm in. And I was like, I liked that nature. I liked that hike. I liked my heart rate racing.
And this is 100 pounds heavier.
Almost, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I had been an athlete before. I
Mm.
played tennis and was really active. But in my addiction and not implementing self-care and not really having any self-worth, yeah, I let myself go big
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
and put on a great game face. Great
Mm.
game face. And at home, maybe not so much, but yeah, the public, just, Dawn's gaining some weight and stuff like that, but no one really knew
Mm.
what was going on. And after that first event, I started trying all of them. And with each one, it kind of stemmed into my personal life outside of it too.
Mm.
I started saying, I've always said I was going to try that. I'm going to try that. I've always said I was going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Oh.
That's the Fuel Resilience. It wasn't just there in that hour and what we were doing. I mean, it lit a fire. I started wanting to be a better mom.
Involved.
I just kind of autopilot, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of us.
So easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So you were basically inspired.
Oh,
Um.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. So I want to take it back to maybe what led to where you are today and touch more more details in that regard. But where did you grow up and how did you grow up?
I grew up most Tarrant County most of the time. We moved around a lot. But stayed in Tarrant County
Okay.
most of the time as a child.
Yeah.
With my parents and my older sister. And I have 2 half sisters. Not really close to them. I was to one for many, many years. But we've grown apart as time has passed. And went to several schools throughout elementary and middle school and a couple of high schools. When I say we moved around a lot, it was probably 8 to 9 times.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's a lot of switching schools, meeting new people. And I mean, it wasn't anything bad that my parents were doing or anything like that. People just kept raising rents. And I mean, the cost of living just kept getting higher and higher. They really had no other choice.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I didn't realize that back then. And it was crummy moving all the time. But it's now I realize why. Once you start doing it yourself, you're like, oh, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when you were changing like schools, you didn't really like that. Was that something you
No,
struggled with?
a bunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you got comfortable with the friends you had made.
Mm.
And there were no smartphones.
Mm.
There was not even internet yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you weren't sending snail mail and those parents weren't talking, you weren't seeing who your friends were. So it was constantly saying goodbye to people and hello to new people.
Mm.
And unfortunately faced a lot of bullying
Oh,
too.
okay.
And yeah, that was rough in middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
How would they bully you?
Oh, I had a gap in my teeth. I was short with frizzy hair. I was chub. Um, I was pretty quirky. Um, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Did you
Gullible, really gullible.
how did you handle it at the time? I mean, of course you're a child, right?
Um,
Did you go
I would
to
have
like
to
your
say
parents?
isolation. Isolation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it was never addressed with my parents.
No.
No.
Did they know this was happening in school?
No.
They didn't.
No.
Did you have anybody you could talk to about the situation?
I probably did, but I chose not to.
Mm.
Yeah.
And who would have been that person or those people?
Probably the counselors at school.
Mm.
But then you think about, oh my gosh, I'm going to make a stink. Oh my gosh, then they're going to be talked to. Oh my gosh, then it's going to get worse. You
Right.
know? So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've spoken to a few people. They're sitting in your chair that they got bullied themselves, and that was one of the fears.
Mm,
Of if I say something like in school, like a counselor or a teacher, like it's gonna get worse.
yeah. Which most of the time we're just catastrophizing.
Hmm.
It's not really. But, when you're not looking at the big picture when you're 11 and 12.
Hmm.
You just see this.
Yeah.
It's you and what you feel. And there probably could have been a bit more support,
Yeah.
but that's in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure. I like to touch base on these things because like bullying. Although there's been a lot of awareness about it, I'm sure it still happens at school all
oh, for
day,
sure.
every day, right? And so
Mhm.
like maybe that was done years ago, and there's maybe like another person that was it's in your shoes probably today, and they're probably doing the same thing, just going home and just trying to isolate themselves and do the best they can to
It's not
move
really the
forward.
best way to handle it though.
What do you think you would have done differently? Like looking back now at your experience, what do you think like if you were like almost counseling yourself, years to the back to that time frame, what would you tell yourself?
That I wasn't any of the things they were calling me.
First and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you believe in some sense what they were saying?
oh, yes. Because they were coming from different groups and saying the same things and doing the same things, but yet they weren't a group.
Mhm.
So it's kind of started embedding in me. Oh, this
Mm.
stemmed into adulthood.
Okay.
It did, big time.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Social anxieties, public speaking, classroom situations as an adult now.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's still some anxieties. There's much more confidence
Mhm.
and self-worth there. But oh yeah, it did some damage.
Yeah.
But it also made me proactive to look at others and be more aware around me.
Oh, great point.
Big time. Big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And address it if it's happening in my own home. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Those
Did
kids can be mean on social media, man. They
social media
can.
warriors, those
They can. And if I happen to hear something, I'm like, pause. I need to know the full backstory of this, and then I'll learn about it, and I'll just be like, there's another way you could have handled that. I need you
Mm.
to share with me right now another way you could have handled that.
See, and it's those things where you can, like, read in between the lines.
Yes. Yes.
And it's one of those things that you can't really teach people these things. Like, it just, like, either you know or you don't,
No,
right?
it's on case by case, minute by minute. When it happens, that teaching moment, don't let that teaching moment go.
Mm.
Whether it be for a children, coworker, yourself, we're constantly learning.
Yeah.
Someone thinking that they know it all. You need to learn that you don't, and then go on from there.
Right. Right. Agreed. Yeah. So that experience really, I mean, it kind of hunted you throughout the years, but it also brought something good, which is you're able to now, like, help your children and see if
Oh
there's
yeah.
kind of read or sense in some way,
Mhm.
if there's something going on. So now you can help them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And friends.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people start to get in that victim mentality, and it's like, let's take it back a few. Let's talk about this. You know what I mean? And ultimately, what kind of created the chaos was their reactions to adversities.
Oh,
You know what I
it's
mean?
how they handled it.
Yes, it's their reaction to the adversity, whether it was something someone said, something someone did, what they
Mm.
didn't do, but you were expecting them to do something different.
Mm.
Um, Something didn't pan out the way you wanted to. And I'm like, and you reacted this way, and then you reacted this way, and then you reacted this way. It's not a judgment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just facts. And you're pointing out the facts, and then you're helping them see, look, you're not the victim. And now let's flip that script and change that reaction.
Take
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah, because you're really going to be going in the same spiral of negativity if you stay there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. You just don't get those thoughts away if you don't put in new ones, and that just keep replaying like a
Yeah, it's like a virus.
yeah.
And it spreads and it spreads and
Oh,
it's
that's a
bigger.
great way to put it.
Yes, it is. It's a virus.
Yeah.
Positivity is a light in a dark space, and negativity is in a virus, and it spreads and it spreads. It's like a weed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm. So you moved a lot, and what about in high school? Did you move a lot while in high school too?
I went to two high schools.
Okay.
Started off at Richland High School, and then my parents moved out to a family estate in Dallas County. Asked me if I wanted to switch schools. I went ahead and said yes because I wasn't going to have to. I could have lived with my grandmother, but I went ahead and went and loved the people I met. But I wanted to graduate where I had gone to school. I mean, I'd stayed in the same district, just gone to a bunch of different schools.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried it out for a while, but then to finish out half of my junior and my senior year, I moved in with my grandmother
Mm.
and went to this high school I had started at, Richland High School. And I look back on it now, and I'm glad I did that. I am. I'm glad I did that.
What
But I kind of created the chaos again, and I look at it going, I'm like, man, I miss those people I met. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to stay there, but I was so focused on, I don't know. I think I might, now that I'm thinking about it, running it through my head, I think I might have been running a little bit.
Running
Like,
from what?
there were good things happening.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was kind of being pushed in some vulnerable spaces.
Oh.
But I knew Richland High School. And I was bullied there. Now that I think about it.
In
I was
Richland.
yes. And I went back. Oh my God, this is like an epiphany, y'all. It is. I hadn't exactly thought about that time in my life outside of therapy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I went back to what I knew.
To what you felt, what you knew, what you
What
felt
I knew,
comfortable,
what I
what
could
was
handle, what I
mm,
was
used to.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
So what was the main reason you decided to go back to? What was that the reason? Because I know you had to move. You mentioned you moved with your grandparents.
Hmm.
Um, so what was the reason? Because I'm sure you moved around with your parents,
Hmm.
but then you decide to move in with your grandparents. What was the reason?
Well, because my parents still lived at the estate in Dallas County.
Oh, was it just a school reason?
It was school reason and it was a long drive.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had stopped going to DeSoto High School and started back my junior year and was driving half that year from DeSoto to North Richland Hills, trying to make it
Oh.
work.
Okay, so it was really you just wanted to go back to that school. So going with your grandparents, it was a shorter drive.
Shorter drive. I mean, 15 minutes. Bam. They were like, this isn't working. My parents, they were like, this isn't working. You're putting a lot of wear and tear on your car. It's not safe. Because I would hang out with friends and sometimes come home late. And so yeah, the opportunity came available to finish out my junior senior year with them.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
I'm kind of glad I did because my grandmother passed away the day before I graduated high school. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So
So
everything happens for a reason. I'm so glad I did that
yeah.
because I got that year and a half with her. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a blessing. So if you and I were friends in school, say we're buddies and we're in the same class, like who were you as a friend? How was Dawn? Or,
Oh, I give you my shirt off my back.
mm,
Oh, yeah. Um, Now as an adult, I realize it was people pleasing,
okay.
but I was a loyal friend.
Mm-hmm.
I was also a clingy friend. No doubt I was a clingy friend.
How
We're going to
so?
do this. We're going
Oh,
to do this. We're going to do this. And it was just sometimes was a little too much for people. Yeah.
why do you say that?
Because they would tell me it was a little too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or not call or flake or yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you're just full of energy.
Oh yeah. Always have been. Just channeled it the wrong way for a really long time. Yeah.
So did you play any sports in school?
Not in high school I did, not in middle school. I just did what was required of me. I was just like, because that was actually where the worst of the bullying was, and I just wanted to get by. I just
Mm,
wanted to get out. And uh, high school, I did tennis,
okay.
and it's funny how I got into tennis is because this cool group of people that I had made friends with, they were on the soccer team, and I wanted to be cool, but all of them had played soccer since they were like 5 years old.
Mm.
I had never played soccer a day in my life. So I tried out for the soccer team, didn't even make like the last string JV. And I knew I didn't want to play volleyball. 4'11", not going to play basketball. And yeah, nothing else tickled my fancy. So I thought, okay, let's try out tennis. So I went to PE tennis and apparently I had a knack for it. And it was kind of like the Phoenix. It was just like, bing. I
Mm.
loved it. And from PE tennis to JV tennis to varsity tennis in, I think, less than 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was, again, all in
Yeah.
and played varsity tennis through my senior year. Yeah.
Wow. So did that keep you out of trouble? What do you say?
No.
No.
No, but I really didn't get in a lot of trouble
Okay.
until adulthood.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was not the rebellious stay out. Parents were just worried sick. I was out all the time. Um, my mom's probably going to see this. She was really strict,
Mm.
and my dad supported what my mom did. So, yeah, no. And my dad, mind you, had 4 girls because I had 2 half sisters.
Mhm.
And so, being the youngest, any mistake they made, they're saying it before you've even thought it. So I didn't get away with Jack. There were a few times that I stayed out past curfew or I lied and I wasn't at this friend's house and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But except for the night before prom. I was, yeah. That, yeah. Uh, that was my first
Do you
stint.
wanna take him off, by the way?
No,
Are
no,
they
no.
bothering you? Okay.
Oh, no. It was my first stint in jail. I was in a group called PAL, and it was peer assistance leadership.
Mm.
So we're mentors to other people in the school. That's why this
I
story
guess
is
it was
so
meant to
ironic.
be. You're a mentor
Yeah.
today.
But we're a group of these kids that we're mentoring middle and high school people anonymously. Like, we're not allowed to share anything we do, kind of like the mental health field. And but when prom came along, we were like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna be bad, we're gonna do this stuff. And yeah, we got a beer buddy, and that was actually, I think, only my second or third interaction with alcohol. And we got a beer buddy, and we just started driving the streets in North Richland Hills, trying to find something to do. That's not exactly the best situation. But so my friend Nick, he was just like, let's go get Dawn Street. I actually don't remember exactly how it came, but it came to let's go steal Dawn Street. And we did. We stole Dawn Street in North Richland Hills and shook the whole top until it fell down and put the whole top of the street sign in the back of my car. Yeah, and we were just like, yeah! So we steal this street sign. We've got our beer, but now we're like, where are we going to drink the alcohol? Because we weren't dumb enough to drink it in the car.
Mm.
And none of our houses, of course, were going to allow that. And we weren't going to go to a park. And then we thought there was someone who's brought up an empty warehouse. There was a thrift town in North Richland Hills. Everybody went to that thrift town. And because vintage was in then, like secondhand clothing and stuff like that. And they had built a new one. Well, the old one was still there. And I believe it was Nick. Street sign and now the warehouse. So he was a clever dude. He's doing really well, by the way. And we show up at this warehouse and he goes to check the dock door and it opens.
Oh.
So he goes in the dock door and we proceed to sit in there and drink Zimas. Remember that?
I don't think I've ever had one.
Oh my God. They don't even make them anymore. So we sit in there for a while and I start freaking out because I hear car tires on gravel.
Ooh.
I'm like, and it's an empty parking lot. And we had parked at the apartment complex and walked.
Oh,
We were
y'all
smart.
Yeah.
Yes. We did not park right by the empty warehouse.
Technical.
And so I'm like, yo, there's tires on the gravel. I hear tires on the gravel. And they're like, there's no tires on the gravel. No one's going to come to this empty warehouse. And I, of course, had no lights. It was desolate. And I was like, no, there's tires on the gravel. I hear more than one tire. More than one car's tires on the gravel. And so a friend comes out and he's like, fine, we'll just go check real quick. He lifts the dock door and like simultaneously 6 cop cars turn on their lights. Yeah. And they're like, you kids having fun? And we're like, oh no. Well, two of the friends were not as inebriated as Nick and I were. And so they got to drive my car and with the street signs still in it. She's like, what am I going to do? My mom's going to see this street sign. I'm like, I don't know. So, yeah. So they drive off. Nick and I go to jail.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's the night before prom. We're still in jail. And they're like, who do you want to call? I'm not calling my parents. So what do I do? And I couldn't think of anybody. And then all of a sudden, I thought of my brother-in-law that my mom and dad aren't crazy about.
Mm.
Well, they are now. I mean, they love him.
Mm-hmm.
But then they weren't crazy about him. And I was like, why don't I call the person that I know my parents won't talk to? So I did. And he came and he bailed me out.
Oh, nice, brother-in-law.
But I was like, I still want to go to prom. Can you not tell them? And he didn't. He said, if they ask me, I'm telling them.
Fair.
But go to prom, have fun, go to graduation. But I'm telling them after that. And I was like, okay, that works. So I go to prom, have a great time, and go to graduation, come out of graduation, cap and gown, family's outside waiting for me. And I'm not kidding. No exaggeration. My mom is standing there with a Don Street sign.
Oh.
And I immediately knew that she knew at that point.
Yeah.
Because the one we stole, it, when the cops learned that it was in the back of that vehicle, it got confiscated. And I got charged with $500 theft of government property. So
there's one way for that kind of charge.
Yeah. So then yeah, that happened. And she's, we hugged and I was just kind of like that when I came out. And she's like, yeah, you're grounded.
Is that what she said?
You don't have a car anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. So,
but I look back on it and I laugh. I mean, there's if I'm ever in North Richland Hills, I go to Don Street and I take a selfie and I send it to my friends and I'm like, yeah, I do. And I still have that Don Street because my mom worked for the city of Hearst and they were able to have one made with the year I graduated.
Oh.
And I still have it to this day. It's in my garage right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You never forget that.
Yeah, but the government property theft caused me to not get a lot of jobs.
Oh,
yeah. Had a job at a bank, passed like all the tests, aptitude tests. I was on my way to orientation. This was when I was like 20. And they called me back and they said, your background just came back. And we see the theft charge. And because it's government property, we can't hire you.
Oh.
And it was Bank of America. I was like trying to start a job, set a career, retire with them. Yeah.
Oh, man. So how old were you when during the prom time, like in high school? Were
17.
you 17?
Yeah.
Okay, so it still showed up in your record even. Wow.
Yeah,
Because, you're not 18
Yeah, because
yet.
it was over a certain amount and government property.
Oh, okay.
I was almost 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, but still, you weren't 18 yet, but it's still.
No, those charges show up. Like some of the charges now for 16-year-olds stays on their record. It depends on the volume of the drug on them or the dollar of theft or, yeah.
You hear that, all teenagers? It follows you.
It does follow you.
Wow. Okay. So how many of you were at having that little journey?
Powwow journey. There's 5 of us.
Five of you.
Oh, funny. I said powwow.
Yeah. I thought you said it on purpose.
No, I just realized, hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's about 5 of you, and 2 of you were the ones that were the drunkest, I
Yeah.
guess. So y'all had to be been there, like, a good minute then, right? You guys were already
Yeah,
drunk.
overnight. We were there overnight and past the morning, and yeah, I believe it was almost
Oh,
lunchtime when I got picked up by my brother-in-law. Like, I
wow.
missed my hair appointment, my nail appointment, all this other stuff that I'd made for prom day or whatever.
Right.
And because no one knew and everyone thought I slept in, when I came back to my grandma's house, I can laugh at it now, Mom.
Yes.
You can too. And but um yeah, we were scrambling. My grandmother, who had arthritis in her hands, I'm getting dressed, and her and my mom and my was it my sister or my friend? I can't. We're doing my hair. It looked awful, by the way. It was awful. I'll show
But
her a
you made
picture.
it.
But we made it. And also, the date I had, he wasn't showing interest in wanting to go. So, like 3 days before prom, I said, I don't want to go with you anymore. And I wound up taking my little brother from theater, who is still my best friend, Chad.
Mm.
Yeah, and we went as friends. And it was a blast.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So you spend you spend a night in the cell, or
Yeah.
did you, a night, right?
Yep.
And what's going through your head?
Hmm. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. How can I work this so I can still have my fun? Cake and eat it too. Yeah. Yeah. And it was more what was going to happen later. There,
Mm.
eh, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay, okay.
And that mentality is like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah.
Hmm. That is
And
just what's gonna happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everybody talks about, I'm going to put the fear of God in you. No, fear of Laura Snemis was in me. Yes, without doubt. That's my maiden name, Snemis.
Mm.
And yeah, I was more worried about that. And now that I think about it, she reacted completely different from how, oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. She was just like, because I hadn't really done stuff like that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
She's like, okay, you messed up. Now you've got charges. It's up to you whether you want to mess up your life. You
Mm.
know, there
Mhm.
was a lot of, no, you reacted this way, you did it this way, you're cleaning it up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's not that they didn't want to help me, but I wasn't going to learn.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't going to learn anything. And I was always going to expect either them or someone else.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Kudos for that, because I think it is true. Like when and funny enough, like I tell my brother that, like, if you, because he's a teen, he just turned 17 actually yesterday with me. And and I tell him, I said, because teens are teens, and I know that, right? So I say, whatever you do, and if it does get you in trouble, like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. Like, nobody's gonna be able to stop you, but
Right.
you're just gonna have to deal with the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever it is, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Like, ain't no, like, we're gonna be there, but we're not gonna get you out of anything.
Yeah.
And he's a good kid. I tell him just to kind of get ahead of maybe what may happen, and who knows, but at least he knows,
They
right?
always think you're overreacting, though. And I'm like, I've got 2 DWR charges. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm talking to my kids and I'm like, this can happen and this can happen. And they're like, Ma. I was like, I'm telling you because I did this and this happened.
Mm.
Whether it was in a party situation, whether it was a depressive state, whether it was an anxiety state, whether it was shoving emotions and isolating, all these things. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
these things are going to happen. And there was a lot of shame when I first got sober because your mind is clear and you're thinking back of all the times that you messed up
Mm.
and you want to go back and you want to fix all those.
Oh.
and there's this overwhelming feeling, just heavy. You're like, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. And but part of the steps, I think everyone should work the steps. Every human being should work the 12 steps of recovery. Cause yeah, there's a lot of things that people need to realize they're powerless over.
And what are those 12 steps?
The 12 steps of recovery, I can't cite them
Okay.
verbatim right now.
Yeah.
But it's recognizing that you're powerless over alcohol,
Okay.
making your amends. Um, eh,
I know the last one is like help somebody out, right? And
Realizing
I
you
know
can
the
be of
first one
service.
is like realize that like there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and then I know there's other ones and then I think the last one was like
Oh,
helping somebody else. Oh, there it is. We got Logan over here or Jamie. So
yeah. Accepting that you have a problem,
acceptance.
finding that there's hope, willingness to put the work in, personal inventory of what you've done. That personal inventory, though, all of my reactions were, I got to fix this. Or, gosh, I'm so stupid because I did this.
Mm.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
but self-disclosure, humility, a reflection, amends, make the amends if they're going to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that you needed to let go of and it's going to harm that person to make that amends, if it's going to do more harm than good, you don't make, you make that amends within yourself.
Okay.
Continued inventory. I continue a personal inventory almost every day.
Oh.
Yeah. You can get so complacent with your mental health if you're not taking a personal inventory.
And so how do you do that?
Well, you realize if something's not going right, take it back a few steps.
Do you have a process? Do you write it down or do you kind of have
I do a lot of different things. I write it down or I look in the mirror or I take a video.
Oh, that's powerful.
I've done videos just talking and then watch them. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of people do that, but I do that. I don't post them or anything like that, but because sometimes just like when you're listening to someone else and you're only hearing what you want to hear and you've already got a response, you can do that with yourself too.
Ooh.
And deny yourself of any accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. And that personal inventory, whether it come to exercise, whether it come to nutrition, whether it come to I spouted off of my kid and I need to go apologize and hold myself accountable, or I haven't talked to my parents in over a week. That's probably hurting their feelings.
Yeah.
I need to check in.
Yeah.
Just that, because all of those things, if you don't do that, then you're going to be over here with chaos playing the victim and you're like, no.
Yes. I love that. And I love the video thing. I think I can't even remember who I was listening to, but I think somebody was saying how their friend, when like they would get together and their friend would always just complain and complain and complain and complain. And, as a good friend, he would sit there and, it was Simon Sinek actually. And he would sit there and listen to his friend as, friend would. And then so, one time he without him knowing, he recorded him. And then later, he's like, I shouldn't, in some places that's like illegal. But then once he was done, he replayed it so that he can hear himself.
That is so awesome.
And he said that basically changed everything from his friend. Like, because he didn't realize how he was like, I mean, not that, it was not that he didn't want to hear it, but it was just the way he was just complaining and complaining. When he was able to hear himself, it just, it turned everything around. And apparently now his friend does that all the time. Like he'll, record himself.
It holds yourself accountable.
Yes.
And then a friend that's able to hold you accountable like that and you responded that way, that's beautiful.
So, yeah, when you said that, it's the first thing I thought. Because I had never heard that before, right? And when I heard that, I'm like, wow, that's so smart. Like, that's so smart. And then here you are, like, you do it. And I'm like, Yeah, like, that's
To this
awesome.
day, I still look back at the ones, that I took, before I had to turn myself in.
Mm.
After the first DWI, um, I got another one while I was on probation for the first. Yeah. So that in turn got me out for the second one, but then I had a warrant for my arrest by violating probation. So I needed to turn myself in.
Mm.
And my probation officer, she knew the situation. She said, get your affairs in order. But if you drive around and you get stopped, you're going to jail.
Mm.
So I stayed home. I helped get the affairs in order, but I knew I had to turn myself in. And I didn't know how long I was going to be there either.
Mm.
Because with getting one while you're on probation for the second one, I could have faced up to a year in jail.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So there's a lot of fear. And so I still look back at those videos the morning right before I went
Oh,
because I was still playing the victim then too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you know it then that you were playing the victim, or do you
No.
think it's a situation where, I mean, you are, but you don't realize because there's just so much chaos that you don't really realize that you're not taking charge, that you're just really being a victim, like, because I
But that
wonder.
was all an accumulation of choices and reactions that I made.
Mm,
The acceptance part.
mm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And yeah.
So spiritual growth, and then giving back. Which how long? Since 2019, you've
Mhm.
been with the Phoenix, giving back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're not being of service to others, we're unable to see what we're putting out in the world. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you get what you give.
Right. And in some sense, like when you take on the responsibility of giving back, right? It's almost like you almost have to hold yourself accountable on another level because other people are dependent on you.
Mhm.
And I think, I think it's a good thing about like us humans that we don't. I mean, obviously it varies in human to human, but for the most part, I would say that when somebody else is that we care for, like depends on some way or shape, like from us,
Mhm.
like it raises our level, right? So this is where like the giving back, like now you hold yourself to higher expectations
Mhm.
because others
Yeah. There's
depend
also
on
a
you.
balance of that too. You
Yeah.
can also do too much of it.
Mm. You
You
feel like
can
you've been there.
you can also get burnout. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And then you're not really putting out good things. You're tolerating it.
Or not taking care really of
You're
yourself.
right.
Right.
Not self-care, so they're not getting
The best of you.
the best of you or the best of what care they could get
Right.
or the
Right.
best of a resource that you're offering.
Yes.
So it's all a balance because it's all connected.
It's all connected.
It
I
is.
agree. I agree. And you've mentioned a few things like you mentioned like in school you didn't have the confidence you have now, which I want to touch base on that, and then the DWIs, definitely want to get to how that kind of went there. So you're graduating and you see your mom with the sign, and you're in trouble. So you have no car. So what do you do once you graduate? Like what are you what's
I had no plans to go to school.
no, okay. Did you
Yeah.
have any idea of what you wanted to do?
No. No.
Okay.
Uh n- yeah. No, I was not motivated. Um
What was your
Self-esteem
focus?
was pretty shot.
Mm,
Work.
work. Mm.
Yeah, work, provide a place of my own, have fun.
Mhm.
I mean, mind you, I wanted to party and I didn't know I had a problem then.
Okay.
So
Okay. When would you say it really started like becoming an issue,
when I realized it was becoming an issue or it was an issue,
or when it was an issue? Let's put it
oh,
that way.
probably 3 weeks after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Um, Everybody thought I was quite impressive because I was 4'11" and I could intake so much alcohol and not be completely on the ground. And there was, "What?" Yeah. I don't know how it happened, but I could. And I was just like, "We're unstoppable. We can do anything." And I was doing recreational drugs, but nothing in excess in that retrospect.
Mm.
That wasn't until adulthood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
But I was also a karaoke DJ.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a party nightlife atmosphere. I was in the service industry for 6 years. Everybody went out afterwards, and the culture was drinking where I worked. So it was it was actually kind of like school. I wanted to be the cool kid.
Mm.
So wherever the cool kids were going, I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't being bullied or anything like that. And met some great people along that path. But yeah, I've looked back on all that and there was definitely a problem.
Mm.
Yeah, when you're drinking so much that you're waking up on a couch and you don't know where you are.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, okay. What are we doing tonight?" You know what I mean? Definitely.
You're like, wow, I'm glad I was in this couch.
Yeah.
Glad I wasn't anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm
Take it
safe.
as a
I'm
win.
not dead. Take it as a win. Carry on. Yeah. Yeah, that's about how I lived for about 15, 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did it become a problem?
Oh, well, it was already a problem then.
Right. Or when did you realize?
Realized that it was a problem when I started driving intoxicated with my kids in the car.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And becoming so consumed with depression that I just felt like I couldn't go on. And would literally text my husband at the time, like the deuces emoji, or say checking out. And he knew I was checking out for a couple of days at a hotel. And I was going to drink myself to oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah. And use.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
I was
okay.
a stay-at-home mom at that time, so I really didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
And I had responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just, yeah, I was so consumed with depression and felt like there was, yeah, there
How
was
many
no
kids did
resolution.
you have at the time?
2.
2. And okay,
Yeah.
so just 2.
So there was the party life with my husband and some excessive at-home drinking with when it was just the 3 of us. And I think it got worse because I had a job then.
Mm.
And I was working and I kind of had some individuality. But I think like I didn't have a purpose, I guess, which I should have found in being a mom, cuz I don't think there's any greater gift other than the faith
Mm-hmm.
I have in God. And but I just didn't realize it at that time.
So what do you think, like, where do you think the depression came from, or what like?
Working the steps and doing that cognitive behavioral therapy, you dive into yourself. You don't really look at anything on the outside. You dive into yourself, you look at your reactions. How can you change those reactions? How can you have good tools to be able to face those same adversities just with different appearances further on in life? And I forgot where I was going with that. And when you look into yourself with that type of therapy, you're running through all those scenarios. And at first, I can only say it was because this person did this
Mm.
and this person did this, or my kid made me mad, or my kid wouldn't do this. And I think 2016 was the big downward spiral.
Mm.
Um, uh, I was still a stay-at-home mom. I gained a lot of weight at that time. My marriage, mm, he's a great man, and he was a great man then too. Uh, but we were really like distant emotionally.
Mhm.
Shared a bed every night, but really distant emotionally, and it wasn't being addressed.
Mm.
It was just kind of sweep it under the rug, out of sight, out of mind. Everything's fine. Everyone's breathing. Bills are getting paid. Yeah. And I would stuff, and then or stuff, and drink.
Mm.
You know? And he didn't know how to handle that.
Mhm.
And so uh yeah, my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes that year. Um I had gained a lot of weight. Marriage was in the pits. And I I think it now it was suggested that it could have been postpartum depression too
Mm.
from a second
Mhm.
child.
Mhm.
And but I still chose really unhealthy reactions to all of that. I
Mhm.
could say this and this were going on, but how I reacted them put me in the situation that I was in.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I could have reacted with love. I could have reacted with communication. I could
Mhm.
have reacted by holding myself accountable with my child and not just being mad at my child.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. But I think like those things sometimes like it's easy to do the right thing, but it's also easy not to do it,
Right.
right? And so
Amen.
right, so and then but when I guess I mean I can't really speak much from, you know, acting from when you're in a depressive state, so like I I mean I wonder, I guess I would say, like how the type of help or the type of environment best suited, to choose, I guess, healthier choices, or the people that are around you to kind of help see that light, right? Or see
Mhm.
that as an option. But like what do you do when you don't even think that's an option? You just do what you need to do to survive another day, I guess you would say, right?
Mhm.
So, like, did you have a friend, or anybody to go to when you were having these depressive feelings?
Yeah, but again, back from my childhood, I didn't want anyone to know I was failing. I didn't
Okay,
want anyone to know I had dropped the ball.
okay.
I didn't want anyone to
So it's like
know.
ego.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of
Mm.
ego. Yeah.
Okay.
Ego can be taken out of context. It can be good and it can be bad.
Hmm.
Recovering out loud, celebrating your wins, letting people know this can happen in recovery, that is not ego.
Right.
A lot of
Right.
people still think it is, and it's not. It's a
Hmm.
message, it's a light, it's a beacon. But this negative mindset and the reactions of victimality and stuff like that, that's that's the bad ego.
Yeah.
And I was consumed by that. And it's it's really hard for other people who have not been in a depressive state to where they feel like they can't even get up and go to the bathroom to think, why didn't you think about your kids? Why didn't you think about your husband? And I was like, you know what? I can't tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that when I changed my mindset and I started thinking positively, that it changed things in me. It literally reformulates your brain chemistry. It's scientifically proven that it does. It releases endorphins. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm,
And that stuff, again, it's all connected. All of it is connected. How we move, what we eat, how we think, it all has an effect. And I still maintain depression. I still
mhm,
maintain anxiety. But I've acquired tools and knowledge
Mm.
and have learned how to reach out to other people and show vulnerability.
Seek
And
help.
there's strength in that. A lot of
Yes.
people don't realize that there's strength in that.
It's there is nothing but strength in
Yeah,
that.
it's courage.
Yes.
And when people take step onto a treatment center, that's one of the bravest things I think I've ever seen because
Mhm.
they are walking up to those doors.
I'm getting the chills right now.
Yeah. And they
Yes.
are saying, I'm a failure.
I
And that's
messed
not,
up.
yeah, I
Mhm.
messed up and I don't want to be that person anymore.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's life changing. And if that doesn't inspire someone, I don't know what will.
You know, it's it's so true, the part of like communication and just asking for help, and that goes along in like many different perspectives in life. For example, you're saying, like just like going somewhere and just, hey, I want to change this, help, right? Because I
Hmm.
can't do it alone.
Yeah.
These people are saying this, but even for example, it just everything kind of goes, everything is connected, like you say, and everything goes hand in hand because, like in my world, the way I see it, sometimes when I talk to people, and for example, a particular family I was working with, and their home was already it was already foreclosed, basically.
Hmm.
So they're talking to me because now they need a place to move, and well, now they have a foreclosure in their record, right? And
Yeah.
and the
And that
thing
unfortunately follows you too.
that follows them, oh, yes, yes, and COVID-19 did not make things easy for renters, because now landlords are now they're checking everything like more to the T, because many months or years over a year they went without receiving
Ugh.
payment, right? Because they were
Yeah.
protected by the law, so they couldn't kick them out or they would be in trouble. So now it was strict before. Now it's like,
Even more strict.
like
Wow.
it's probably easier to buy a house than to lease one, because they look at your credit score, they look at your background, they look at all these things, and they almost want the requirements to be uh like as if you were buying a house,
Hmm.
and if you don't, then now you have to pay double deposit or plus. And I mean, anyways,
That
okay,
explains a
so
lot. No, you're fine. I get
so
it.
but where I was going to is that these people, they could have saved their home. It didn't have to go foreclosed. They had so much equity because they bought it 3 years ago. This was
Hmm.
like a few months ago, maybe 2, 3 months ago, that I talked to this family. But they could have refinanced. They had plenty of equity to
Hmm.
refinance, and or do like there's a program where, if you have so much, so you can like actually get checks. You're losing equity, but you're getting actually,
Yeah.
you know check. And so I mean, those are just two, but
Kind of
there's
like a
many
relief.
options. Or yeah, I mean, uh, there's countless options, but the time they didn't want to say anything because they felt ashamed,
Yeah.
like they were, I guess, ashamed they were in that situation, that they couldn't make their payment. So by the time they reached out for help, it was a little bit too late to save their home, basically.
Mm.
Like they were already getting kicked out. Like they had days to get out of the house.
Hmm.
So, and that goes back to just asking for help. And if like they would have been maybe a little bit more courageous, and maybe, as far as asking for help, because
Yeah.
they're in this situation, they could have prevented all of this, right?
Yeah.
So it goes back to like asking for help,
Well,
right?
and a lot of people take fail out of context too.
Mm.
No, fail can be a lesson.
Yes, it's
I
always a
I
lesson.
am not ashamed to say that failed. Fail. Back to the drawing board. I
Hmm.
don't get shameful of that anymore. There's a solution to everything. Whether it's an action, whether it's a mindset, whether it's letting it go.
Mm.
Letting it go is a solution.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be an act for something to be solved.
Right.
And there's so much peace in that.
Yes. Yes. So, and that's just, by the simple thing, as simple as just communicating,
Yeah.
right? Uh,
Communicating or not communicating. I mean,
or asking for help when
asking
you
for
need
help when
help,
you need it. Yeah.
right?
Or going to get it when you need it.
Yes.
Because there are people in situations I've met in the recovery community, they literally have no one.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Wow.
yeah, no family, no significant other, no children. Yeah. And they literally are facing it alone. But when they step up on these steps and they enter a recovery community and they make themselves vulnerable and they want more for themselves, they're no longer alone. Yeah.
Mhm.
That isolation was was eating them alive in their addiction. And yeah.
Yeah. And with when with in regards to what you were saying about like the word failure, right? I think I like several years ago, which literally changed like the way I saw failure was. It's like failure. It's always a win-win when you do something or whatever you want to do, whatever that means. And you start it and say you don't get the outcome you expected to get or you
Mhm.
wanted to get. Okay, well, there's a reason, right? So it's a win-win. Either you get the outcome you wanted or you figured out why you didn't get it.
Yeah,
So
it's
then
a
you try it
lesson.
again,
It
right?
teaches you we are always learning
So it's
from our
like,
wins, from our fails, from our guesses, from our hypotheses. I mean, from
yes.
everything. We are always learning.
Always. Exactly. So, when you said that, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's so crazy, even I don't even remember where I got this from, but it's just things that, just kind of stick with you because it literally changes the way you see things.
Mhm. It does.
Literally.
Mhm. Reformulates your brain chemistry. I like to say that
I like that
because,
better.
yeah, because what's a way you can think about it? Like a visual, you can think about it. One thing I saw one time, you put drops into a glass of water and uh it's going to change the color of the water. It's going to change the way you see the water.
Mm.
But when you look at the outside and you add the water and possibly some movement, it's going to dilute that. It's going to
Mm.
change the way you
Mhm.
see the water. I saw it. Where did I see that? I think it was at a public speaking engagement. And it was something so simple, little dropper and water. But
Mm.
when you add this or ask for help or something like that, you're changing what's in the glass. And it all started at the beginning of
Mm.
his speech with, "Are you a half full or half empty type person?" And then he called on someone. Okay, you're this type person. And that still sticks to with me because I am still the type of person that even with a project for work or something that I'm doing at home, I I tend to not ask for help. I'm like, I can do this. I am strong. I am capable. And I do. I do it all the time. And uh, but learning how to ask for help, it changes the way I see the situation.
Mhm.
Someone else's perspective, someone else's way of working, um, someone else's way of planning, someone else's way of doing a workout. No, I'm not always right when I go into that gym. I fail all the time, and that's okay. But I've learned to reach out and ask for people to help me, and it
Mm.
changes the way my day to day, like everything, how I take phone calls, how I clean my house, how I do my laundry. Mm,
That's awesome.
how I answer text messages, you know?
Yeah.
Text does not have tone. I'm rambling now, but it does because it's all connected.
Oh, it's all connected. It's
Anytime
so funny because
anybody
I've said that before. It's all connected. So it's amazing. I
well,
love it.
people still go, "What do you mean?" I'm like, everything you do is connected.
Yes.
Even if it's with someone in Dallas County and you live here and you're interacting next door. What you did there in that reaction and what you absorbed from that is in this moment.
Yeah.
All of it. my workout this morning, or if I didn't work out this morning, or if I didn't work out 3 days in a row, or if I didn't track, then your next project for work isn't going to matter.
Yeah.
Or the load of laundry you need to fold isn't going to matter.
Oh, yes.
Or the dinner that you have groceries for isn't going to matter because you want to be lazy and you want to go pick up food.
My
It's
gosh.
all connected.
That's so powerful. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. But I got one for you. Like,
Okay.
you mentioned the glass of water, half empty or half full.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know the third option?
No.
You do it every day. You pour it on.
Oh.
Because it's either half empty or a full glass, or you pour it on. And why do you pour it on to somebody else? So you can put more in. You put more in.
Put
you
more
pour it
in,
out.
and you're watering.
Yes.
You're helping something grow.
Yes.
Well, I like
You pour it.
that.
Pour it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Jim Rohn talks about that.
Okay.
That's where I learned it from. Is I pour it on. Pour it on.
I love it.
Don't just
I
let
have never heard that.
Yeah. Don't let it just be full. Pour it on.
Very
Spread it.
cool.
Spread
See,
it.
another
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Constantly learning.
Constantly learning.
Always learning. I love this.
Yes. Yeah. I know. Mind blowing. When I heard it, I'm like, yes.
And it's something so simple and it makes so much sense.
And it's so visual too. You can immediately think when you're pouring it on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're learning, when you pour it, it's all connected.
Yeah. And you get what you give.
You get what you give. Yeah. Yeah. So, wow. Okay. So you're about 15 years into your marriage, and your ex-husband.
Oh, not 15 years into my marriage.
Oh, sorry. 15 years. Wait, I heard 15 years earlier. It was
just 15 years of drinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. So, okay, so you're married and you have 2 daughters, and it was your ex-husband at the time knew that when you text him the deuce, it was because you needed some time alone, and
it's not that I needed time alone. I was running.
you were running.
Yeah.
What were you running from?
I mean, I just felt like I just couldn't do any of it. I couldn't be a mom. I couldn't be a wife. I was failing at everything. I didn't have a job. I didn't have purpose. I didn't have the motivation to clean the house. I didn't want to cook. I'm just a failure all around. My parents are going to be ashamed. I'm not good enough for my kids. What kind of role model am I? Those are all things I used to tell myself, like on a daily basis.
So when you would go away or run away, you would drink, right? And what would you
drink, smoke weed, do coke, prescription drugs, my depression meds? I would overtake them.
So was there any room to think? Did you do any?
I didn't
even
want
thinking?
to, Myra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't want to,
Oh, shit.
and wouldn't even consider all the shit's gonna be there when I come back too.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I just wanted it to go away and it not be in my head. I didn't want to think about it.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Picture a pinball in every negative thought that you could ever think of yourself, and it never stops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point in your life was it when you got your first DWI? Were you married?
No, yeah. I believe it was the night before wedding anniversary. Yeah. 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 One of my
It's funny now.
Yeah, it's funny now. One of my excuses to get out and have some adult time, because I was always home with my youngest, was I just want to go play poker for a couple hours. And yeah, it was never a couple of hours. And my my ex-husband just wanted me to be happy, and he was going to do whatever he could to make that happen. So, I mean, he would even move around like work meetings so that he could be home in time for me to get that alone time. And
Mm.
I would come home and be intoxicated, and it's never going to happen again. I won't do that. I'll take it easy next time. And it just happened over and over and over and over again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A
Okay.
lot of trust lost.
With it with just at home or would you say like trust like people like your family trusting you?
Oh, no, no one knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stuart
Yeah.
and I did a really good job of hiding it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I mean it's something that it's something I guess people don't usually just go around
Yeah.
walking and talking about
There's
it,
a lot of
right?
shame in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shame.
Yeah. And so
Well,
that's why
I
there's
obviously
places
wasn't
like
that good at it because I wound up getting barred from the bar that I went to on a regular basis for like 12 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? How did
Obviously,
that
yeah, I
happen?
stopped being good at it. And I would just not, I mean, once it started, it just did
Oh,
not stop.
you stopped being good at hiding it. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
and drinking, period.
Oh.
So what happens when you consume a lot of alcohol over a long like period of time, years and years, you start losing that lining
Mm.
inside your liver. And so it absorbs the alcohol a lot quicker.
Mm.
And then you need more to
Mm.
sustain that buzz and that high and that drunkenness.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah. But it also gets to other parts of your body quicker and you're
Mm.
not able to rid yourself of the toxins. So that's why it can cause so many health problems.
Mm. Mm.
And yeah, because again, it's all connected, your nutrition, because you hardly don't want anything when you wake up the next day after a bender like that.
Mm.
So you're eating crap or nothing at all. So the only nutrition your body is getting, I don't know if you could call it nutrition, is what you're intaking, which is
Mhm.
alcohol.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And
I
it's just
see.
this never ending cycle.
I see.
Going to the ER, getting a pat bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Getting rehydrated, going back home, doing it all again a couple of weeks later. Yeah.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm. So what in what kind of in what point of your life was it that you either or that help came your way, whether I don't know if you decided or it was
Oh.
forced?
The second DWI was a wake up call.
Mm.
Um, almost going to jail for a year and that not happening. And I was actually released and everyone who had been in that holding to leave that had were going to be able to go, they got told they could go, and then I got told to go to the courthouse. And I'm like, but I don't have an arraignment. I don't have a court date. And uh I still get emotional about this. But they said, do not pass go, do not collect $200, don't stop and get a soda, go to that courthouse. And I'm in the clothes that I got arrested in, mind you. And I go in the courtroom and it's empty. And besides a court clerk and a judge and a bailiff. And bailiff and the judge asked if the court clerk felt comfortable alone in the room with me. And she said yes. And I sat down and she proceeded to tell me she's the same court clerk that was in my last conviction.
Mm.
She worked in that same court downtown. And she told me the story of how she's a child of an addict. And how this meeting came about is that we have a mutual friend. To this day, I don't know who that mutual friend is.
Mm.
Yeah. And they apparently found out about what had happened to me, communicated with her, asked if she could intervene, talk to me. And when she talked to me about how much animosity she had towards her father and
how angry. I mean, she still didn't have a relationship with him, and how she felt so unloved, you know? And that that was the game changer. Hearing someone else talk about how their parent hurt them without ever laying a hand on them. And I didn't have any worth at that time, but it was like, oh my God, I don't want to see my kids like that. I don't want them to have pain like that. And yeah, it was a game changer. And knowing that I was probably, no, not probably, knowing I was the reason for whatever pain they had at that point, it was just like, no more.
Mm.
No more. And my youngest, to this day, she doesn't remember a bit of it. And, she's been asked questions. She's had counseling, and they're like, we don't see any signs of trauma in that manner. And, but my oldest, she trusts me now, and we have a great relationship, but she was just kind of like, yeah, whatever about mom, because I didn't follow through with promises, and said I would do things around the house or for her for school and would forget. And drove with her to rehearsals and stuff many times. Intoxicated, her screaming at me that she's scared. Yeah. And took a long time for her to trust me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Totally valid too.
Yeah.
And but yeah, after that interaction with Lori downtown,
Wow.
that yeah.
So there's a mutual friend that's like an angel, basically.
Yeah. For sure.
Wow. That is so beautiful.
Cuz who's to say I would have, cuz after that first DWI, I had this mentality that, oh, I could just not drink for a little bit and I'm going to be able to have a couple. And thank you. I'm going to be able to have a couple. I'm going to be better. I've realized what I've done, and it's going to be so much easier this time. Or I've realized what I've done. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to do it in my car anymore because I have the interlock. But I've got this little roller thing that tells me how many cocktails I can have in so long. And I'll just wait that time till I'll get in my car in the interlock. I seriously did that after the first one. And it was so calculated and so planned. And I'm like, well, now I look back and I'm like, what are you doing? But it's a disease. It's a disease. You don't realize what you're doing. And the other people in your life want you to see that, not just for their benefit, but they see you in pain. They see you hurting yourself, and they don't want you to hurt yourself. You know what I mean? And because it's all connected. Yes. And it took a while to gain trust from my ex-husband and my daughter and myself. Because, I mean, there's still some days that I find myself isolating and I'm just like, oh, it'd be just so easy to go do that. You know what I mean? But I don't. And personal inventory, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does this make me happy? When I was using, what did it do? I mean, that
Yeah.
personal inventory, that's what you have to do every single time.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yeah.
In prayer and faith and talking to someone. And not always by myself. I don't reach out to my kids on it. But I do still reach out to my ex-husband only because I want him to know that I am being my best self. And I'm not going to hurt him, and I'm not going to hurt the kids. And there still is that desire for reassurance from him because I did hurt him for a really long time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
and we're still co-parents. We're still a blended family. So he needs to be able to have that trust in me.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And the thing about trust is like it does take time to build, but the good thing is that like, and that's where consistency comes in. And if you're like, well, for anyone, like, it's like, okay, if anyone, like, if I lose a trust on anyone or anybody loses it on me, it's almost like there has to be work to be done to make it better, right? So it's
Hmm.
kind of like your credit score,
Yeah.
right? So with your credit score, if you miss a lot of payments, you're not going to have a great credit score. You made a promise to pay and you
Yeah.
didn't. So now, it goes into your credit score, but if you really do want to change, you can change that credit score. If it was at a 400, you can make it 800. It's just not going to be overnight, right?
No.
It's gonna be a journey within itself. You're gonna have to do things to show that, hey, I trust me. Like, if I say I'm gonna pay you back, I'm gonna pay the banks back.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely those points will slowly start
Yeah.
racking up. And then at first you may have to pay a hefty interest rate, and maybe that another person may get a high interest rate, maybe the person next to you may get a very low interest rate because they have good credit score, they don't have to suffer as
Right.
much, right? But with time, and it's kind of like the same thing, right, with trust. That's
Oh.
and I'm sorry, that's kind of like how my brain, but
No,
everything
no,
is
no, you're
connected,
fine.
right? Like, it just makes so much sense.
It's a
Like,
great analogy. It is because it takes patience, it takes work.
it takes work, it takes
And
time.
there there's a lot of similarities between the finance world and matters of the heart. There is because you have to look at the big picture. It's all
Uh-huh.
connected. Work has to be reciprocated. You know what I mean? There's an
Yes.
influx, there's an ebb, there's a flow.
Yes.
And uh
And it's a partnership,
it's a
right? With
partnership
mhm.
and uh a lot of grace.
Yeah.
A lot of grace with uh healing
Mm.
in the situation with family and recovery.
Mhm.
Because you have to remember, you have to stay out of that victim mindset, and anything they're thinking or feeling is completely valid. And you're like, but I'm doing all this work. Why can't you see this? Why can't you trust me? Why can't you be nice to me? Th- You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They need their time to heal. There's
Yeah.
no textbook way to heal for
Oh.
something like that. And some relationships may not ever be mended. Just
Mhm.
like making your amends. Sometimes, if it's going to do more harm than good, you don't even approach it.
Right.
You let that person be where they are
Yeah.
and you be where you are.
Yeah.
And, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
the healing process and recovery is a lot of patience, a lot of work, and a partnership. It is.
Yeah.
I'm going to believe in you. I just need you to believe in me.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, it sounds like, I mean, of course, right? Like, it's trust was something that had to kind of work for that. But at the end of the day, it sounds like your family is supportive, and in some sense, even though maybe at some point it was questionable. I think, like, deep down, maybe they had that hope that you would actually stick to your word, right? But then maybe
Yeah.
they wouldn't tell you at the time, because if we tell her, then she's just gonna screw it all up, and then here I'm gonna be hurt again,
Yep.
right? And I don't want to hurt myself, right? Like, I don't want to hurt,
Yep.
so I'm just gonna see. I'm just gonna see what Dawn does, and we'll play it by ear. But the fact that they're still there, that means that they believed
Hmm.
either way.
Oh, yeah. And they're extremely supportive of my recovery. And I'm extremely supportive of them if
Hmm.
they ever want to talk about something or um, someone in my life is battling depression very close to me and substance abuse. And uh you know, initially I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I caused this." You know what I mean? I was an influence.
Mm.
I caused this. But no, I'm not. But
That's what.
living a life of recovery and strength and perseverance and recovering out loud, it's actually helping them. And they're seeing people I'm
Mm.
connected to. They're seeing us out of recovery and that it can be done. It's helping them. It planted that seed, and now I'm pouring out.
Yes.
And they're doing good. They're doing good. And uh there's been an understanding, and they reached out for help. I don't know why I'm rambling on that, but I just don't want to, like, sorry, I don't want to say who it is.
No,
I'm
no, no
afraid they might
worries.
get upset at
No,
me.
no, you don't have to. Well, and it doesn't matter, right? What matters is like the story and the impact
Yeah.
that you're having
Hmm.
towards them. Like
Well,
you
and the recovery community, not just me. Yeah.
sure, right, right. But if anything, I mean, you have I would think you have a lot of weight in that because you probably know them better, and you are working with this group, and you are leading a lot, like sounds like a big portion of all the activities and the people you're surrounding yourself with. And not just that, I mean, what bigger example than yourself, right? Like your own turnaround, like your own. I mean, honestly, like without me kind of knowing you a little bit, I would have never guessed
What?
that you're at recovery, sober.
Ah.
I would have never guessed. I wouldn't say, oh, she looks like, she
Yeah.
had some troubles in the past,
Yeah.
because you're very happy, you're very smiley. You have, I like, what was the first time? I don't know, when I saw you, but either way, whatever the first time was, I liked your energy. Like I liked your energy. You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? And so, I would have never guessed, the amount of work that's taken you to get to maybe this point.
Yeah. And
Um,
every day it's work, honestly.
and so that's very admirable. And so, with him and or her and all these people, just seeing example, like not just the groups but individuals, especially like you, like
Thank you.
what else? I mean, it's seriously, because that is the hard part. It's like the 4-minute mile. It's like nobody thought it was
Oh,
possible.
okay. Yeah.
Nobody thought it was possible when like they thought it was actually impossible until somebody ran the
No,
four
like
minute
scientifically, they thought it was
Yeah,
impossible. Yeah.
until somebody did it. And then what happened shortly after? Another person did it, and then another person, and then another person. Right, like after the 4-minute mile was ran,
Yeah.
So it's like
But
you
see, if
are.
he would have done that on a track with no one watching, no one would have known.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes, and that's
No
where
one would have known.
that's like the good part of. It's not ego, what you were saying, when you're celebrating all these
Yeah.
things, like celebrating that's like a good thing. It's
Yeah.
awareness.
But showing him doing that planted seeds in every single person that
Mhm.
watched it.
Yes,
Recovering out loud plant seeds in every single person that's watching it.
everything's connected.
On our face, yes. And we may get hundreds of views on something, but no one liked it.
Mhm.
No one commented.
Mhm.
No one. I see that 294 views. Someone saw it that needed to see it.
Mhm.
Someone's going to go to that event that needs that event.
Mhm.
Or someone's going to see that volunteer and how much joy that they're exuding and what they're doing. I want that. How do I get that?
Yeah.
And it's this getting into communities and being lights, whether it's helping someone else shine theirs or you're shining your own. It lights up
Yes.
a dark place or someone's energy that just needs to be ignited. And yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. And in reference of that light, once sometimes our lights are can be dimmed, but we can expand it. right? And that's with like the knowledge and learning tools,
Mhm.
where instead of being a dim light, it may shine the whole room,
Mhm.
right? And like that's the goal,
Yeah.
right? To
We create mirrors
yes,
that reflect. Yeah, we can
yes,
reflect off each other for sure.
100%, 100%. So you mentioned something um really interesting. I think you mentioned like finding purpose, or finding something that gives you purpose. Like I'm sitting now here thinking of like maybe how important it is to have some sort of purpose, right? Like even from a younger age, to have that in mind, not necessarily that you know exactly what you're going to do and this is where you're going to retire and you got your whole life planned out. Not necessarily that, but just having a purpose or a goal to work towards,
Mhm.
because I asked you earlier, like when you graduated high school, um, I think you even said like really there was like you didn't really have like a purpose, as a lot of us don't, right? And actually a lot of people that sat in that chair and I asked that same question.
Yeah, but people take purpose out of context too.
Mm,
Um, it's it's not a destination; it's a direction.
beautifully said.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not an end goal in something because it doesn't stop.
Right. Right.
It's a direction. It's
Mhm.
how you're moving, what you're doing to move towards those goals. It could be
Mhm.
tiny goals. It could be going to the bathroom. It could be taking a shower today. It could be, but you're moving in
Mhm.
a direction. It's not, oh, I'm going to get here and everything's going to be okay. No, there's going to be an adversity here. There's going to be a challenge here. And being able, that's a purpose.
Mm.
It's not what
Mhm.
you're obtaining, it's
Mhm.
how you're getting there.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
not everyone may feel that way, but I
No,
do.
no, it makes complete sense because really there's I mean, who's to say like this is um there's really like the end destination. It's when you're 6 feet under,
Yeah.
right? Like that's really
Mhm.
like where we're all gonna end up in anyways, right? So everything else is just a journey.
Actually, I think I'm gonna be a tree pod, but yeah.
Oh. Okay.
No 6 feet under coffin for me. I'm gonna be a tree pod.
Okay. She
Okay,
said
but
it.
go on,
She said
sorry.
it.
Okay,
But
good.
yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But my point is like, I guess just having something that excites you that you're moving towards,
Mhm.
right? So, and then like when you kind of like was almost, I guess, not forced, but maybe you were pushed by your roommate to go and do this hike with the Phoenix
Mhm.
group, and then it's like you found purpose.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's kind of like what what I'm
It was a
gathering.
direction
It
that
was
I
a
chose to go
direction,
in
right?
rather than the direction of my couch
And that it was
and the
exciting
television. Yes, and it's exciting and it
and
ignited
fun,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and
I figured out something new about myself.
mm, mm-hmm,
Yeah. I
mm-hmm,
put myself in a vulnerable space. I
right.
didn't stay in a comfort zone. I didn't remain complacent.
Right, right. And so, speaking of like, I, one of the thoughts that kind of comes into my head, like just that's kind of like in that similar perspective. It's like, uh, wait, I lost my thought. Wait, we're talking about, direction.
Something you're working towards.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, I remember now. It's like jobs, right? Like
Okay.
some people are miserable at their job, and they're not inspired. They're not having fun. They go to work instead of having fun. Um, maybe they're just getting madder at the world every day. But like find like when you find something that calls you that you're excited work towards, that calls you, that you're inspired to build on. Like, okay, this is where it's at. It's already amazing. I want to be part of this and make it better. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And
That's a
so
direction.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So and so there's different, like, this is like your particular story, which is beautiful, but with different people in different walks and where they're at, I can see that a lot, even like in the job market, and it's not just on, oh, it's because I'm sober. It's people that are sober, or maybe you've never had anything. They could be going through similar feelings as
Yeah.
you, right?
Oh, yes. That's what I said earlier. It's not just a substance use disorder.
Right.
It could be an eating disorder. It could be a spending problem. It could be depression. It could be they bite their nails. And I mean,
Yeah.
we're all trauma, domestic abuse, sexual
Right.
abuse. I mean, we're all recovering from something.
You did say that.
A
Yes.
child of an addict. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
What was Laurie doing to heal?
Mhm.
And going back to you saying the person that hates their job,
Mhm.
what direction are they going?
Right.
What goals do they have?
Right. Yes.
What purpose are they creating for themselves?
Mhm.
They're actually choosing that.
Right.
Does that make
Right.
sense? They're
Yes.
creating their own chaos.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
having the good life or purpose, it's it, you're setting yourself up for failure if you're looking for an end destination. Because if you get that degree, it's going to lead to something else. And then that something else is going to lead to something else. And then that something is going to lead to something else. It's not an end destination. It's a
Right.
direction.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. That was beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, seriously.
thank you.
That makes so much sense.
And it's so simple. If I get up in the morning and I go work out, I'm going to have more energy for this meeting. And then once I accomplish that meeting, I'm going to answer all those emails that I need to answer. I'm going to do my scheduling that I need. I'm going to put out prep for dinner that night for my girls. If I don't go to the gym or I don't start my day with a win, I'm constantly beating myself up for that, which doesn't put me in the right mindset for that meeting, which makes me sit around and not answer the emails. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much work tomorrow. And then I'm like, now I don't want to cook, so now we're gonna go pick something up. I mean,
it's so true.
I sent myself the purpose of misery. Purpose can be taken out of context too. And yeah, it's all about your reaction and what direction you're going.
Oh man. Wow. Yes. Yes. Okay. So
I don't know what this was about, but
no, it's like a map.
it helped me talk.
Yes. No, I was following it because it makes sense. It makes sense. One thing leads to another,
It's
and you just
all
don't know what
connected.
direction is
Yeah.
gonna go.
It's all about your mindset, your reaction, and what direction you're choosing to go.
Choosing.
Mhm.
Keyword. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you have a talk with this lady. I forget her name. You mentioned it, but
In the courthouse?
in the courthouse.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's almost like you saw probably yourself from the perspective of your kids.
No.
No.
I came out of myself,
Oh.
and I immediately saw my children as Lori.
Oh.
And
Okay.
once I saw my children as Lori older,
Okay.
and every bad thing they could possibly say about me if I had continued to do what I did, being hated by two people I love with my life, yeah. No.
So, it was possible for you to face, up to a year or so. And so what happened? Like, how did things turn out for you?
They turned out good. I didn't spend a year in jail. Yeah. And I started an intensive outpatient, was another one.
And I had gone to detoxes and rehabs, and but I wasn't in the mindset that that I didn't have a problem. I just needed to get sober again, hit reset, and everything was going to be fine. Does that make sense?
So you like you received some help.
Yeah, I received some help professionally and medically, but that was way before I had ever admitted that I had a problem. That visit with her and seeing what pain I could cause to them, it was a lot of people think you have to hit a rock bottom. No, you don't.
Mm.
No, you don't. Someone can make you see a rock
Oh,
bottom.
wow. Yes.
And
What a blessing.
she showed me.
Yes.
And to this day, I'm sure she does not know how impactful she was in my life.
What was her name?
Laurie.
Laurie.
And I've tried contacting her, and I've sent a picture of my daughters and I and a letter and what I've achieved and how impactful she was in my life and where my kids are, but I never got a response. So it's one of those things, leave it as it is. But there's another part of me that's like, you changed my life.
I need you to know.
I need you to know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, that's when I said, I need to get help. I need to get therapy.
Okay.
I got into it. Well, the IOP was required, but I got to choose where I went. I really put the work in this time, made myself vulnerable, accepted people's words.
Was that scary?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were I was hiding for so long.
Yeah.
And the only person that really saw that really ugly stuff was my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And no one else saw that. I have a very close friend that saw some of it, and who I told most of it. And we're still friends to this day. And but you have to share a lot in these things and talk about things that happened and what was your reaction and how do you feel now. And not only do you do it in that intensive outpatient program, you do it in meetings too. But there's so much strength that is found in that and other people's stories and other people's perspectives that a lot of people, we call them normies that aren't addicts.
Normies.
They don't really have an outlet for something like that unless it's with a therapist. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
And
wow.
It could really be a
Right.
contributor to our mental health crisis that we're in.
Gosh, that is so true.
Unless they're alone in a room with a counselor, what groups are there for them? So that's another reason why I love that Phoenix is all inclusive. And because, granted, we don't sit down like a meeting at other pathways, but we're moving our emotions around. But if someone wants to stop and talk recovery or talk about something bad that day, or hey, I'm struggling, or I relapsed last week. Okay, let's talk about it. You know?
Yes.
And being able to have those kind of connections in a community and using them. There's some people that don't use them, but I pray they do. It fuels resilience and it ignites hope, and it, like I said, the direction, it puts you in a direction of purpose for each other. And yeah,
I love that it's
plants a lot of seeds.
Yeah, it's a community. It's like it opens a door that maybe they never even thought it was possible there. It creates a safe environment to talk about what maybe doesn't feel so safe outside.
Yeah, because a lot of people can't understand.
Right.
They want to understand.
Right.
And there's no judgment on someone who doesn't. But sometimes it's hard to articulate when someone just doesn't have that imbalance or those traumas or, the
I
desires to use. They really cannot understand. And that's okay that they don't.
Right. That reminds me. I was talking to someone. It was a guest. He said here in the podcast, but he even mentioned like when he was having trouble, like just like feelings of like he seeked out for help, just feelings of depression
Hmm.
and things like that. He said that the problem that he found is when he tried looking for help, he couldn't find anyone that he felt could relate with him. So he felt like he would talk to these people that were licensed and were educated
There
and,
has to be a chemistry and a
and
common
so
ground. And so he didn't have it like
he
we
didn't
do
have
in
it.
recovery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he said it just never worked for him because he just felt like the person on the other side would just not understand because he didn't understand where he was coming from. Like they were not the same race, to begin with, which was a big thing because he couldn't really understand the struggles.
Yeah.
So,
It's the same concept.
it's the same concept. Like
Yeah.
these, like people in recovery or sober, if they have to talk about anything, I mean, this is the environment where they could actually feel listened and understood.
Yeah.
Understood, I would say.
Listened, understood, comfortable because I mean, like I told you earlier, I still have social anxieties. I was nervous coming here. There's
Mhm.
been a couple of times throughout our conversation right now that I've gotten nervous.
Mm.
And uh I forgot where I was going with that.
I think we were talking about feeling understood, like this
Feeling
guy.
understood. When you enter a space with other people in the recovery community, some of them have fought the same battles. That
Right.
creates a safe space,
Right.
which creates a safe energy,
Mm.
which you feel accepted. And a lot of the times, if you're coming up to someone who isn't in that, with that anxiety that you have, you don't feel safe. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Safe. Right.
And it doesn't mean that you think that person's going to cause you harm.
Right.
It's just you're immediately overstimulated and you don't feel
Mm.
safe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's that's so true. And it's a blessing that there's you know places like the Phoenix group
Hmm.
that have these or have created these environments. But what about the other people don't really have anything like that? That they don't have a group where they can come and you know uh come together with a group of people and do fun things and have fun
Hmm.
and feel inspired to take that energy, muster it all up and go do something with it somewhere else.
It takes an idea, takes one idea.
Yeah.
Same thing with Phoenix, was one person.
Mm.
He started something new, realized how good it made him feel, felt like it was strengthening his recovery, started the Phoenix.
Mm.
There's a group on Facebook with Fort Worth women. And throughout the past year, the growth that they've had, I'm like, what? And they just go out on socials and walks and stuff like that. But they felt safe because they're all mothers or single
Mm.
women or, working professional women. And they realized, I'm sure those first couple events were scary. You know what I mean? Only communicating with those women via social media.
Right.
But now I'm looking at the group and I'm like, oh my gosh. Their events have turned from 2 to 3 up to 25. Doing water
Wow.
Zumba together. They have cocktails and stuff like that. So I don't attend a lot of the events, but I'm so happy for them.
Right.
But it starts with one person.
Yeah.
It starts with an idea, it starts with a motivation to connect with others. And if someone doesn't want to start it, come to one.
Mm.
Do your work, do your research, because most of the time what you're looking for that's going to be fulfilling, it's not going to come to you.
Mm.
You have to go to it. It's a direction.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And a lot of people think if I'm good, I do the right thing, good things are going to come to me. What are you putting out there?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
Yeah. You get what, wait, yeah, you get what you give. You get what you put out there.
And yeah, if you're not reaping what you want, then you have to figure out what you're sowing.
Start planting some other seeds
Yeah.
because those other ones didn't grow.
Mhm. Right. It's like you can't say like look for a potato on a tree,
Right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
right? So,
No, it is the same
yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, DoorDash. You have to order it for it to come to you.
You're right.
You have to make the money
Yeah.
to pay for it to come to you.
Mhm.
You had to buy the phone to be able to get the app, to be able to order it,
Oh,
for it to come to you.
yeah.
There were all these things that you had to do to be able to even use that.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
I mean,
it
you have to
doesn't
create an
just
account. You have to put in your
yeah.
information.
So just like anything, it's not going to come to you. You had to do things to get it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. So like
That
for the
personal
people,
inventory is kind of like the whole DoorDash thing that I do.
Mm-hmm.
You did this and you got this. You didn't do this, you expected this and you didn't get it.
Mm.
So next time you're going to do this, not expect this,
Mm.
and be okay with this.
Yeah, no, makes
It's
sense.
Direction.
Direction.
I don't know why my nose is itching so bad. Sorry.
That's okay. Do you need to take a break? And
Oh, no, I'm good.
check it out? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have anything sticking out?
No.
Okay.
Just a little something. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
No, I'm kidding. Oh, wow. Okay. So, where did we left off? So, but okay,
The
so
courtroom.
the courtroom. Okay.
And what was I doing to make change?
Yes. So you're
And-
going to these places where you said like now you were you like you accepted.
Yeah. And I started going to meetings
Okay.
and with a pathway, and I kind of was feeling heavier coming out of them than I was coming in. And that could have been me not having faith in it, not extending grace. So I kept at it, and I was still doing that therapy. And but I was still expecting things to come to me. And I was not having any kind of direction, and pulled the mom card quite often, but remained sober. But when I went to that first event with Phoenix, and I went all in and started figuring out all these things about myself and started seeing all the positive things that was happening in the relationships and the situations around me, it just ignited so much resilience for anything. It really did. I did not come here to sell Phoenix, but there's so much that getting out there, pushing yourself out of comfort zones, making yourself vulnerable, it does something to the soul. It does something to the soul. And there's a good saying that don't bleed on someone that didn't cut you. You know what I mean? But the same thing goes if you're bountiful, the poured out. If you're bountiful with blessings, pour it
Pour 'em
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get more will come in, and you
Yes.
continue pouring that out.
Yes. And but it's gratitude. It's gratitude, staying in a direction of purpose, putting out what you want in return,
Yeah.
going and getting it, not expecting it to come to you.
I think there's a level of compassion too that, you have to have not just with others, but first and foremost for yourself, right?
I am not regretful of anything that I have done because I would not be here if none of that had happened.
Mm, okay.
There was a lot of shame in all of it, but I've got to show gratitude for it
Yeah, I mean, it's never gonna.
because none of it would have led me to Lori in that courtroom. And then none of it would have led to the cry sessions with my kids that I've had
Mhm,
or the amazing transparent conversations that I've had with my ex-husband
mm,
or how I've been able to be vulnerable and upfront and honest with someone that needed to be held accountable.
mhm,
None of those, and then now they're sober for a year.
mm,
You know what I
mm,
mean?
mhm,
None
mhm.
of those things would have happened if those bad things hadn't happened. I
But
mean,
now
just
it's
like,
what you choose.
yeah. And I mean, it's kind of like the volunteers of the Phoenix. I mean, there's people that are volunteering for events that when
Mm,
I saw them at their first event, there's no way that they were going to be doing something like that.
mm.
You asked the question, are you interested in volunteer? Oh, no. Oh, no, not right now. You know what I mean? They do. And to see that growth happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably nothing greater than something like that. Like, and that just goes overall in anything like just the impact of something so big that literally changes somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Like
It's what
literally.
it's doing. It is. It's what it did mine. And yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so extremely gracious for not just Phoenix. I mean, the other pathways that I've worked and the other peoples that I've and the other people that I've met and the
Mhm.
relationships that have been stemmed. I've learned what I want, what I don't want, who I want to be around, who I don't want to be around.
You learn about yourself.
Yeah. And all of those things were just tolerated.
Mhm.
And again, never would have gone to that first Phoenix event or never would have walked into that first rehab and seen someone that was coming off opiates and be like, I'm never doing opiates. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Or
Mhm. Yeah.
being in jail and seeing someone on their fifth DWI
Mm.
and that they're probably facing prison time. Getting that talk from Lori and going outside myself and seeing my aged children before me. And
Mhm.
none of that would have happened if I wouldn't have made those bad decisions.
Mhm.
And I'm extremely grateful for all of them.
What it's definitely a testament, that change is possible, that, of hope.
Yeah, and the other people that I come across and I see their growth, they inspire me.
Look, I
They
mean,
hold me accountable. I'm grateful for them and the role they play in my life. And Jonathan and Kelsey, what they do supporting other communities and getting out there and helping people like they are, that's inspiring. And that plants a seed in me.
mm,
And
mhm.
we're all going in a direction of purpose and we're inspiring others all along the way.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
inspire me.
Oh, well, thanks.
Seriously.
You do too. You inspire me.
Because I know that just embarking in anything, it's there's work and there's, it's tough and just anything regardless, but like your story is, it's so inspiring in the fact that it you see a lot of people that have, maybe have or have had similar issues with substance abuse, and some people just don't come back.
Yeah. Or they were sober for 3 to 5 years. They go back and they die.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happens way too often.
Yeah. So
And you think they're okay. It's okay. People get complacent in recovery all the time.
mm,
All the time. Well, I'm staying sober. Everything's good.
mhm.
Mm-mm. If you're not actively working that program, or if you're not actively working a pathway or putting in work,
Mm,
your
yeah.
mind's going to get just as dark as it did when you were using.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I think that's why, like, speaking of the 12 steps, I don't even know how I was learning about these 12 steps or when, but um, when I was learning about them, I think it was probably a book that outlined them, but they said, like, there's 12 steps, but you could do 1 through 11, and, but that doesn't mean like that, like, even if you get to the 11th step, there's very high chances of almost certain that you will go back if you don't do step 12, which is help others.
Oh, without a doubt.
Mm,
Without a doubt. Yeah. Because you're not living in a state of gratitude.
mm, mhm.
Because helping others helps you stay grateful for what you have. And helping others plant seeds, which the universe gives back to you in blessings.
Mhm.
And if you're in your own little world in isolation and you're not getting all of those blessings and grace and universe coming to you with amazing people and things, again, you're going to get what you're putting out.
Mm, mhm,
And if you're not putting out
mhm.
anything, you're not going to
Gosh,
get
yeah,
anything.
yes, that's, you know,
N-
everything's connected. You know, and you've said it in different times, and it all makes sense because, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
There's another good saying, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Oh,
It's said in anonymous meetings all the time. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
oh, yeah, that's a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, when you're getting this help, are you still with your ex-husband?
It was about halfway through the first year of sobriety. I we had a talk when I graduated from my IOP. And we said, why don't we separate? Why don't we figure it out? Because he was in agreement that he needed to figure some stuff out on his own. That there was some things of his own that he needed to heal from, and was not blaming everything on me.
Mhm.
And that felt good in a way, but it was also really scary because it's just like, oh my God, neither of us have been alone in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm sober.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but and I went back to work. Although not many people wanted to give me a chance because I had 2 DWIs and I was still on probation for the second because it was a little over 2 years. I had an interlock for 5 years. And but I started waiting tables overnight at an IHOP until I found a job. And then after a year of separation, I kind of, I'd said, are we going to work on that? That whole year, I'd said, are we going to work on this? Or, are we going to try to figure it out? Do you want to go to counseling? Are you not wanting this anymore? And I just kept getting, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And his I don't know was okay. It was okay.
Mhm.
But after a year, I don't know is an answer.
Mm.
So
Right.
we agreed that we were going to get divorced. We were actually separated for 2 years, figuring out how we were going to make this divorce easier on the both of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Oh,
My
yeah.
gosh.
We've got 2 beautiful children. We don't need
Mhm.
to be stressing each other out. And we're better friends now, I think, than we ever were when we were married. And he's an amazing human being. He really is. And so yeah, sober 2 years, getting a divorce, working in the field for the first time. I got a great job, working in project management administration, and was doing really good, really confident. I had started CrossFit,
Mhm.
and dating a little bit, but was not successful in that department. I'm still not. It will come when it's supposed to.
Right.
So, then continued working multiple pathways, going to Phoenix events, volunteering, being of service, and then August of last year got the job offer for the Phoenix. Yeah, I had applied for one job with them and didn't get it. I wasn't suited for it. Someone who got it, it's definitely suitable for them. They're great,
Mm.
and then they flourish in that position. So it was not for me. And there's a time and place for everything.
Mm.
Everything happens for a reason. And yeah, got that position, and my world's changed a lot. I bought a house for the first time all by myself.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thanks. The house that I had with my husband, I was on the deed, but I wasn't on the mortgage. So that was a bit of a challenge, not having a lot of credit. And but yeah, maintaining it on my own for really the first time in my life. And it's a great feeling. It really is, to sit and think about it right now, because I'd actually gotten complacent with that. I'm really hard on myself. Really hard on myself. I have a hard time extending grace. And but yeah,
Wow.
just thinking about it for a second, I'm really proud of myself.
That is huge. Seriously.
But yeah,
So what got you into the mindset of, hey, let me buy a house?
oh no, I was gonna rent.
Okay.
I was gonna rent because my parents bought a house later in life. They had bought a house when I was super, super young, but that time when we moved around a lot, it was rentals. So it was less manageability, easier, one-stop shop.
Mhm.
And but then I started looking at the market, and I was like you said earlier, it was more beneficial to buy.
Mhm.
But then the problem of having little credit, actually, my ex-husband was a co-signer.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I could. Down payment I paid. I pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
Everything like that.
Right.
But yeah, he helped me do that.
Just a little boost on the credit there to make it happen.
Yeah.
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 That speaks volumes
Of his character.
of his character for
Yeah.
sure.
And but yeah. And buying
Wow.
a car of my own, and
Wow. I know you have a beautiful Santa Fe.
oh, thanks. It's got a little boo-boo in it.
Did Logan tell you I'm the biggest fan? I had a Santa Fe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then we got another car and then I gave that to my sister. But I've never loved any other vehicle like the Hyundai Santa Fe.
Really?
I'm serious.
I have to admit, I love my Toyota Venza. I miss it.
Do you?
It got totaled,
Oh.
and I had it used up all the time on my rental.
Mm.
And they said, you have 72 hours. After I got my payout for the other car, they're like, you have 72 hours to buy a vehicle. And I'm like, what? And the closest Venza, I wanted the same car. And the closest Venza was like 800 miles away. It was going to cost $2,300 to transport. So then I start going. I think I went to like 6 dealerships that day. And finally, I was like, who is the nicest? Which is the least expensive? And what's going to have the most return? Emotionally, physically, mechanically. And the Santa Fe one.
Yeah, it's one of the SUVs that has the best MPGs too.
Yeah, it is. It's a hybrid too.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think when we went over to the pool party, Logan was like, that's Dawn's, because he knows I love Santa Fe's.
Oh. Well, the Soba plates too. Everybody's like,
oh, yeah, I did notice.
I've actually been places and had people come up to me that have said, I saw your car in the parking lot. I've been looking for you ever since I walked in. I mean, it could be a restaurant. It could be, yeah. Because
Wow.
nobody has a red Santa Fe with red soba plates.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's an eye candy for me. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Logan will tell you. I'm not even joking.
My girls were like, "You're getting red. Everything you do is Phoenix." I was like, actually, they didn't have another color. They had other Santa Fe's, but not that they were hybrid, not that were the all-wheel drive or the sunroof.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I didn't get it because it was Phoenix. I got it because it had all the features that I wanted.
Yeah. So how was that? How was that home buying experience for you?
Oh my God. It was so stressful, Myra.
Yeah.
I probably looked at 42 properties in a matter of maybe 20 days. It was insane.
And when was this?
2000. I moved into that house on my 3rd year sobriety date.
Oh.
Yeah. This
2019?
last June was 2 years in my house.
Oh wow.
And my sobriety date's June 21st, 2018. And the maintaining of it, I think, is the most difficult. But it's one of the most rewarding because I'm like, this is mine.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
doing this. This
Yes.
is mine.
Out of all the spots or places of dirt in the world, that's yours. That's
Yeah.
your spot.
Yeah, and I can make it what I want.
And
When you're in a rental, you can't make it
yes.
what you want.
No, exactly.
I've gotten siding, new windows, solar panels, new roof, new fence.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, brand new front door. I'm not in the eyeballs up to debt either. We had some assets that we split.
Nice.
So I was able to put a pretty good down payment on the house. And we also have stocks. But I chose not to get them at one time and to split it up over years.
Yes.
And so every single time I get one of those, I do a home improvement on my house.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the windows were much needed. They had those old aluminum ones.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Helps with utilities too.
Mhm. And then the solar I wanted only because of conservation.
Mm.
And
Mhm. How are you liking your solar, by the way?
what?
You love it?
I have like a $60 bill.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What about in the winter? Do you have a zero bill?
I think it got up to 45 last winter.
Wow.
And I got a pool.
Wow.
I have 115% offset.
Okay.
Like almost all of my roof faces the south. So they were able to put a ton of panels. I just don't have battery backup yet.
Okay.
So it's like anything I use during the day, I'm not having to pay usage for.
Logan and I were talking about getting solar actually, and we're like, oh, it would be really nice to talk to somebody that actually has
Check
had
out the
experience.
technology. Check out the
Okay.
technology. See what's up to date. And whoever you get estimates from, make sure they have that current technology because it doesn't get updated as quickly as like phones and stuff like that, but it does get updated and you don't want to get outdated
Okay.
equipment. But I went, who did I go? Not Power, that's the door in the siding. Oh my gosh, Legacy was my
Legacy.
solar.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had 3 referrals get stuff with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
But if y'all are interested, I can get their information.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we even doing this anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We are.
Oh, we are?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the powwow. We're just powing.
Okay, there you go. And wowing.
And wowing.
You pow, I'll wow. And then I'll pow and let you wow.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so how long have you had solar?
I got that.
Did you get that right away?
No.
No, okay.
Probably after the first 6 months.
Oh, Okay, so like a
So
year
it
and a
was
half.
relatively new.
Yeah,
Yeah, year and a
yeah.
half.
Okay, so I was just kind of trying to gauge like the experience
And
with.
you get to pick your carrier too. Like I went with Rhythm. You want to
Okay.
find someone that has the biggest buyout
Okay,
uh
right.
for
For any
per
excess.
kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Cuz you get credits,
Yeah.
but you don't get that in money. It just carries over to the next bill.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing.
And then unfortunately most of them have contracts though.
Yeah. That's all right. Can't complain with the $45 or $60 bill
Right?
in 110-degree weather, which up there's probably more like 150.
Well, this last one was really high because I did keep it lower because we had more people in the house at one time. I think it
But imagine how much it would have been without them,
without.
right?
I've got friends that have like $400 electric
Yeah, I
bills.
think ours was like 500
Oh
over.
my god! No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, like y'all take off your clothes. We're opening the windows. We're gonna let God cool us. Yeah, there's no way. I am
Yeah.
so frugal. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no,
No.
it's it's real story there.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I think my stomach turned when you said that.
Yeah, serious.
I have
I
sympathy
think it's probably
for
over
you.
than that.
Woo.
Rounding down. Yeah.
I am pretty proud of myself on my mortgage. I've started a little over a year ago. I started paying 500 over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I started looking at what I had left over every month. And that was even before I had expense checks and stuff like that. And because I was still working at the other company then. But oh my gosh, it's helping out so much. And I know that if there's ever any kind of emergency, I know I've got that 500. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And or if anything needs to be like paid off or something, I'll know that I can take that back down
Yeah.
to the regular mortgage and I'll still be able to income that 500.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like
Yes.
a nest egg, but at the same time it's doing something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so good for you.
Thanks.
Man.
Yeah.
Man. I that's I love it. That's impressive because, you're actually putting like thought into this. Like it
Oh,
just
yeah.
shows like, you really like are aware. Which, a lot of things can happen, but nothing can happen without nothing particular can happen without awareness, right? Like have to be aware, like you're being aware of your budget. Now,
Yeah. Nothing changes and nothing changes.
oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like I
Right.
figured out how much I was spending on K-cups.
Mm.
K-cups. I went to a coffee can with a scoop and a reusable K-cup. Close to $230 a month
Oh.
being saved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just K-cups.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, I mean,
hair. I used to have really long hair that I colored and styled and stuff like that. Calculated what it cost for me to go to the stylist between tip, stylist, product, color, cut.
maintenance afterwards.
Yeah, maintenance afterwards, stuff I bought to take care of it.
Mhm.
It was close to $5,000 a year.
Wow.
You think about it, 230, 240, 250 a pop. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I cut it off. I got it off and I haven't colored it since. And I go to Super Guts every 6 weeks.
So I got it off.
Yep. Cut it off. I was like, I waited for my roots to get about here. And then I just did a pixie cut.
Oh wow.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I'm saving that money.
Heck yeah.
The hybrid saves a lot of money. I don't eat out. We used to eat out 4 or 5 times a week. And now I don't do that. And that saves a crap ton of money.
We didn't even, speaking of food, I didn't even ask you, like, you lost over 100 pounds or 100 pounds,
Almost
about
100.
almost
Yeah.
100 pounds. So,
This is over a long period of time, not like since I got sober.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did it start?
Uh, about after my second kid.
And then, okay. Okay. So, and what did you do, I
When I stopped
suppose?
drinking alcohol, boom, 40 pounds were
Oh.
gone.
Mm.
40 pounds gone.
Okay. So that was the biggest source. That's where it
That
was
was the
coming.
biggest source. And then finding motivation
Okay.
with the CBT, she said you need to set a timer every day. 5 minutes. Get 5 minutes of physical activity.
Oh.
And because it wasn't really being morbidly obese, it was being severely depressed.
Which
And
affects that just your whole autoimmune,
mhm,
the way you process foods
yep,
and stuff. Yeah.
what you crave.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And so once I started moving around, I got up to 15 minutes. Then I started taking walks.
Mm.
And that's what I was doing really avidly was the walks and eating better, smaller portions, no fad diets, and just balance. And then found the Phoenix, started going to community fitness at Descent, actually.
Mm.
Uh-huh. And found other Phoenix CrossFit events and started going to all those. And I was like, I really like this. And I mean, not only the weight loss, but the nutrition tracking and macros and all that I've learned from Kelsey, Jonathan, Jesse, and teaching on weight. 3 years ago, if you would have said I was lifting a barbell 3 days a week, I would have been like, whatever. You know what I mean? And Ashley and them could see how scared I was at first. They really could. Because I was just, she goes, you can do more weight than that. I'm like, no, I can't. Yes, you can. But I wouldn't for the longest time. I think I put 10s on the bar for close to 6 months. It's like, I'm going to drop it on my head. I'm going to hurt myself. It's going to be all your fault. Yeah. But going and doing CrossFit in a community like that in a group, that feels resilience too. And I don't know, it just does something. It does. You know, knitting might be someone else's thing. Art might be someone else's thing.
Right.
Kayaking,
Yeah.
hiking, indoor climbing. CrossFit's my thing.
Yeah. Well, what the thing is, I think just overall, like some sort of like activity, because even if you say love art, I mean, it's fine. You can love art, but your body still has to function properly so that you can have the proper energy to produce the best art possible that you want to
Yeah.
put out
Agree.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it sounds like you found like your group, right? Like, yes, I love doing fitness, something that, unfortunately not a lot of people say, or feel that way, or maybe, and it could be because maybe they've never been introduced or felt safe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so many people. When I say you should come sometime and try it out, and they're like, I can never. I could. Oh, you couldn't? You can't? You're saying you can't do something. You know what I mean? And I'll do that. I'll just be
I
like,
like how you asked them that.
yeah. Would you say you can't eat a burger? You know what I mean? Would you say you can't do this? No. Then you totally can. Don't let yourself, you don't want anybody else telling you can't do something. Why tell yourself you can't? You know what I mean?
Right. It's that self-talk.
Somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm like, watch me. I'm going to take pictures. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Watch me.
Yes.
And so I always get them in there, and I'm like, just try it one time. And
They do.
Like that hike. Just try it.
Just try it. I freaking love hiking now. And I've been on 2 backpacking trips. I've done the Ozarks and
Mm.
rim to rim in the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
Primitive cowboy camping, the whole bit.
That's awesome.
Everything that I used was on my back. I never thought I would have done anything like that. What I envisioned for that first hike is what I made happen. Yes.
You pictured it.
Yes.
Yes.
I manifested it.
You
So
did.
I have a very amazing best friend. She's my ride or die. I was like, I can never do that. That's what I told her. And she said, yes, you can. I'm booking it now. And she did. And I got tick infested at the end of it, but it was grand. And doing, I think it was something crazy like over 30 miles over 3 days. And jumping in that river before we got in the car, it was, I don't know, it's just exhilarating. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't done like backpack camping, but I mean we do the primal camping where we go set up a tent and then we cook our
You should try
food.
cowboy. You should try
Oh,
cowboy camping and backpacking.
okay.
You backpack, you literally turn over your backpack and you lay on the ground and you sleep.
Yeah.
Then you get up the next day and you hike some more.
Yeah, we've when we're hiking, sometimes we see the backpack hikers, with that.
Try it. You'll be like,
Oh.
I'm a badass. After you do it, you will. You will. Making your own fire, cooking your own food, making your own coffee, no shelter. You find shelter if you need it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's not like that's badass moves right
Yeah.
there.
I wouldn't have been able to do it without her, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I
you
mean, we
could've.
did have tents. We took our tents.
Okay.
But, yeah, you were out in the elements, and she challenged me for sure.
So when people say I can't do it, it's like you've been in that position where you say I can't do it, and
Yeah.
you did it. So
Mm-hmm.
Who would have
Next
thought?
is to do that bungee jumping off a cliff.
Ooh,
That's the next.
okay. Do you have like
I just got to find the right one.
yeah? Do you have a like a bucket list?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been doing some serious checking off since I got sober.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at my Facebook, that back cover photo, I want to go there. It's Angel Falls.
Mm,
You can't jump from it,
okay.
but you can go to this small village and get a helicopter and fly around it. I love waterfalls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like to visit them.
Okay.
And there's just something about them. And I want to go there. That's my goal.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
my next
you're
goal
gonna
is
have
to
to
go to
send me a
Angel Falls.
picture when you go there.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
For
Definitely.
sure.
Definitely. So.
And another one was to go on a cruise.
Oh, that's right. You
I just went on a
came
cruise.
from a cruise. Okay. How was that?
Oh my gosh. I get overstimulated when I'm around a lot of people for an extended amount of time. So I had to escape to the room a few times, but overall, we had a great time. And that excursion was money. That excursion was money.
What did you do?
We dug baby turtles out of collapsed nests along the shore, along the coast.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a sea turtle rescue excursion. It works with a nonprofit, and there's able-bodied
Oh.
cruisers that want to save baby turtles. So we're their manpower.
Okay.
And yeah, I got to go out there and do that for a few hours. Like we literally dug the holes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had they're usually about 3 to 4 feet, and we had to go about because they were collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, so
That sounds like so much fun.
it was beautiful. I
And
mean,
beautiful.
you were literally saving little
Beautiful
babies.
is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I took my kids to that. I thought they were going to be like, what? You know, because there's snorkeling and there's shopping and there's scuba diving and zip lining and all these other things that you could do for excursions. And when I presented it to them, I thought they were going to be like, no. Sit in the sun, get sweaty, and dig. No, thank you. You know what I mean? But they heard sea turtle rescue and they're like, yes.
Oh.
I was so stoked they wanted to do it.
Even
was
better.
so stoked. We had such a good time.
Oh, that's awesome.
I kind
That's
of lost Ada after the first hour. She's my youngest. She had a friend there too, but they got to go along the beach and they had some fun.
nice.
And then we hit this little village, and yeah, it was just a great time.
I saw you found a necklace.
A semicolon.
Oh, yes, a
Yeah,
semicolon.
I was actually mad because halfway over here, I was like, "Oh, I don't wear my necklace." Yeah,
Mhm.
but so I gift myself every year of sobriety,
Okay.
and I have a large tattoo, the soba plates, the house, and what was the first year? I think I took a vacation the first year. And then for my fifth, I couldn't find anything that was tickling. I wanted something to wear
Mm.
to say, this is me.
Mhm.
And I've gotten funny stuff like retired blackout artist shirts. You should see the reaction I get when I wear that shirt. They're like, blackout artist. Like blackout drunk.
Mm.
And there's so many people that read that and they're like, what? But when I wear it to something recovery, they're like, that shirt is awesome. But so my fifth year was in that village there was a man that did handcrafted designs on pesos.
Mhm.
And
And pesos are like the Mexican currency.
yes.
I mean, yeah, for the people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
And I've totally forgotten that we're being recorded. And he had like initials or like college, like TCU. No, he didn't have that because I had to ask him to make. I got one made for the girl's dad.
Mm.
That's TCU. But then I didn't like any of them. And then all of a sudden I was like, I should ask him if he can do this. Because he said he does them by hand. So I looked it up and I showed him the semicolon because I've always loved the semicolon. I was actually going to get a tattoo of it. And do you remember the semicolon movement?
No.
Okay, so it's suicide awareness and mental health awareness.
Okay.
And it was a big campaign
Oh, okay.
several years ago. And it's your story's not over. It's where a period could be, but it's pause.
Mm.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so I was like, that's what I wanted my symbol of recovery to be.
Oh gosh, I love that.
Yeah. And so I Googled it because I said, do you know what a semicolon looks like? I'm in Cozumel, Mexico, in a little with a man that speaks hardly any English, and I ask him what a semicolon is. My daughter looks at me and goes, Mom. And he's like, no. It was so funny. He just dead no. So I Googled it and I showed it to him and I was like, can you do this on one of those? And he was looking at it and he used his hand and he went like this a little bit, like I guess how he would hold his tool, I guess. And he goes, yeah. And then I go, can you do 3? Because we were only there for a little bit.
Right.
And he goes, ooh, like that. And I said, please. I did. I did the whole please.
The puppy face.
And he did. And he goes, I'm going to go right now. Gotta go. And he goes, this size? Because he had larger pesos or smaller pesos.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, I want this one with the silver and the gold. And he was like, okay. And I go around, I follow him. I was like, I want to go see what this guy's doing. So I go around the corner. The man is doing it by hand with hand tools. I thought there was going to be like this machine that he flipped on and he
Right.
entered something and it was going to do it.
Right.
Oh, hi, Mimi.
Hi, Harvey.
And it wasn't. It
Harvey, go away.
hi.
I gotta go clean your eyes. Oh.
And so it I wish I had it to show you.
I did see it in the picture,
It
but
was just this little thing that
yeah.
he held, and then while he held it, he held the tool with his legs, and it
Oh,
was literally this after he punched it and perforated it and punched it out, uh he cleaned it and filed it with a wire.
a wire.
It was a silver wire like this that he just cleaned it with after he perforated it and punched it. He's so curious.
Yeah, he likes to lay under the table. I'm surprised he hadn't been
Aw.
here.
How old is he?
He's 8. He's
Oh.
had two surgeries, one in each eye. He had ulcers.
Ulcers in his eye?
Yeah.
Aw.
And well, since he was a puppy, he doesn't produce tears. So his eyes are dry all the time. And then they prescribed him something with steroid, and we believe the steroid caused something to have like ulcers because afterward, like, it was just like at the moment, like they were trying different meds for his eyes, and then because they usually use steroids afterwards after like the
Surgeries.
surgery
Yeah.
to help heal, and so that I think that's what caused the second ulcer for the other eye. And then so
Aw.
once we got him off that medication, he was fine, and I could just tell by his, I mean, he doesn't move much, but I really kind of know him. And
Yeah.
so like when we took him off those teardrops, then everything just, so now he's just stable. You know, we have to constantly he has to have
So
put
cute.
eye drops in his eyes all the time, and then they just get gooey because he doesn't produce
Yeah.
tears. So it's a few things. But he's done really well. He's
Good.
he's doing really well since he had those surgeries, and we kept him off the steroids. His eyes have been really good. So
Good.
yeah,
Okay.
he's 8 years old. My old man. He's
He's
so
handsome.
good.
Those paws. Look cool.
They're the size of any small puppy's head.
Yeah. She goes, they're the size of, and I was like, what's she gonna say?
Because you'll go with another puppy, and like it just
Yeah.
splashers a whole any other small
He could
dog.
just be saying hi and
Yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're fortunate he's a gentle giant.
yeah.
Yeah, but oh wow, so he literally did everything by hand.
Yes. And I was like, am I making you nervous standing here? Because he could understand me. And it's just like, the question about the semicolon. And so he goes, a little bit. I was like, okay, I'll go get something to eat. So we went back around, and sure enough, he got him done.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll post a picture of it just to kind of show. But I did see the picture on Facebook that you shared,
Okay.
and I was gonna ask you, like, I'm like, oh, interesting. I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Uh,
sense. Gosh,
Yeah.
I love that.
The story's not over.
The story is not over.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you didn't allow it to end.
You didn't allow it. Yeah.
Because there were a couple of attempts. So.
All right. Well, we've been going 3 hours.
No way.
I'm serious.
No way.
Dead serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I rambled. Did I ramble?
No.
I feel like I rambled.
No. I mean, we go off of
But
branches.
it's extremely authentic. You had no questions. You had like no script, no
yeah.
bullets. This is what we're going to focus on. Because, like if you go on for a TV interview or something, they basically say what you're going to talk about so that nothing happens.
Right.
Or nothing's said out of context or everything's censored. And
right.
so, yeah, it
Yeah.
was authentic. I like it. I
Thank
like
you.
what you're doing.
Thank you. And and trust me, I have lots of questions still, but a few episodes have gone like I think one of them over 4 hours. And I was kicking myself when I was editing. I'm like, "Oh gosh." Like it's usually 3 hours now. I have a whole another hour still to edit.
What other
Yeah, but,
question?
what would you say what in your life has brought you the biggest, feeling of whatever you overcame that gave you confidence?
The biggest thing?
Yeah, like the first thing that's like one of the things that you said, this was, whatever your experience was, but once I came out of it, and you have a crazy story, so I don't want to make any assumptions. So it could be many things that maybe we haven't even touched base on. Um,
What the thing I'm most proud of?
you
Or
could
that
say
I
that.
look back on?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I mean, confident usually you'll be proud of it, so yeah.
yeah. Um, hmm. Being present.
Mm, mhm.
Yeah.
Being present.
Yeah, whether it was a substance or not. Because I
Mhm.
could stay sober for a couple of weeks. I wasn't stumbling around every day,
Mhm.
but I wasn't present.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, being able to sit there and just go, huh, you know what I mean? It means a lot. Everybody's go, 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 or thinking about the next thing or the next bill or what I have to say, what I have to do. Being present and being grateful for that moment. That's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of those moments for granted.
Wow.
It changed the way people saw me and how I saw the world.
Wow, that's beautiful. I seriously. That's it, and it's so true because what you just said, we're always go, 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 and and what you just said, like some of these moments that will never come back. For example, say like the baby stages or whatever stages
Yeah.
that it's like if you're not present, and it's like you'll look back and be like, well, I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, if I find myself complaining, I'm like, no, you need to be in this moment. I'm thankful for, I'll look at right around me.
Ooh.
I'll be like, I'm thankful for this glass of water. If I'm upset and I'm complaining, I'll be like, no, we need to switch that mind frame. I'm thankful for the roof that is over my head. I'm thankful
That
for
is
the
so powerful.
AC I am feeling right now.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that my dog that makes me smile and she's laying right there. You know what I mean? I
Yes.
literally do that every single time I start complaining about something.
Yeah. On like hats off to that because I think it's hard to learn how to put different and better thoughts to replace them, right? Like that is hard to do.
It is. It's very hard. And right then, you probably don't need to figure that out, but you need to get in a state of gratitude so that possibly you can.
Yeah. Oh god, I love talking to you, Dawn. I seriously, I'm so serious. I really do. Okay, so yeah, I'll
I'm enjoying talking to you too.
oh, good,
Yeah.
good, good. So every episode, I typically end it with a question that is, what is your personal definition of happiness?
I'm sorry. The first thing I went to is cheese pizza. But it's not actually my thing of happiness because me and a friend of mine, anything we think something is happy, we send the pizza slice emoji. And
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, and that just immediately came to me.
Okay.
Cheese pizza is happiness, but oh, okay. Word the question one more time.
What is your personal definition of happiness? Because a lot of things, different things, and make different people happy, or different people see happiness as different for them. So, what does that mean to you?
Being grateful.
Mm.
Yeah, because if you're in a state of gratitude, you're happy for everything that's around you.
Gosh. Done. Say no more. I mean, that's gold. Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
have said any better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dawn, we did it.
Yeah,
I
we
told
did.
I told you that 3 hours would go by
It
fast.
does. I was just like, oh my God, 3 hours.
Yes. So, I am so serious when I say like, Harvey, get back.
Hi, You're so cute.
I am just so grateful that we even just crossed paths and that you are sitting here and I was able to have this conversation with you.
Likewise.
Um, I true like well, and part of the reason we did the podcast or started the podcast is because I am truly inspired by a lot of people. And you're way high up on that ladder.
Aw.
And so I love what you're doing. Even me, I'm like thinking I love how you have you are part and of the Phoenix group that helps. It's not just a Phoenix group, but just a group that it's literally changing lives.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them out there. We're engaging with all of them, whether it be a treatment center, whether it be a counseling center, whether it be a nonprofit that does outreach. I mean, there's a lot of them out there,
Hmm.
a lot. And they're planting seeds every day, every day.
And thank you for that. Thank you for what you're doing to the community because like you said, everything is connected.
All connected,
And so
all of it.
the more lives that can be changed for the better, it helps the community, it helps the city, helps the state, it helps the country, and helps the world.
Enriches your soul.
Yes. Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
So thanks for all that you do. Thank you for
Thank you for all you
accepting.
do.
And I'm just so blessed that I was able to talk to you today. Thank you.
Likewise.
I hope maybe we can talk about in the future about like more of your accomplishments.
Okay.
For
Or
sure.
mamahood.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Woo!
lot of topics
That's a
there.
whole other show.
And then you got the whole like relationship thing, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of topics. But
Yeah.
I know this is something huge in your life, and I definitely wanted to capture that, not just just not just for me to talk about it, but to just put it out there in
Put
the
it
world.
out there in the world.
Yeah.
I
And
love
so,
what you're doing.
thank you.
You're welcome. And I like how it's not focused on one pathway,
Topic.
one topic, one genre, one like some are fitness or some
okay.
are recovery or
Right.
some are just for moms or
Right. I
you're
see.
bringing in people who are inspiring people in lots of different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
hope.
it. I like it.
Thank you.
Hope you're doing it.
I
Yeah.
hope it does help impact people, so but with stories like you, how could it not?
Nah.
So
Everybody's got a story that's going to inspire someone.
agreed. Well, all right, everyone. Well, thanks for watching, and I'm grateful that you are watching every day. Let me know what you think, and till next time.